You work so hard. You show up every day. You do what's expected of you. But deep down, you know the truth. One paycheck shouldn't decide how your life turns out. But what if your evenings meant progress? What if your weekends built freedom? What if your laptop became more than just a screen? This isn't about quitting your job. It's about giving yourself options. While others crawl, you start building. Quietly, consistently, and on your own terms. No pressure, no guessing. Just a clear system you can run after work, before work, or whenever life gives you a turn. That's what Goldmine on hustlesafrica.com is for.
Tuesday.
Haikuzo makasi ni watafute uongozi pamoja wasitafute.
Kweli una maana gani? Una maana wewe ni binadamu ya mavi ya kuku.
Mashamba yetu harambe.
Nguruwe kujikanga na mafuta yake na Afrika itakwisha.
Padani agosho ngai no mwega na ende shode.
Wakati hiyo ilikuwa ukisema ngwe ndani ngwe
You ready?
I am not saying comments or mera.
Ata mimi, I'm having a problem. I can't, my nini is not playing at all. I don't understand the problem.
Sasa pande hii.
But anyway.
Umeingia una stream YouTube ama? Yes. Okay, acha tuone.
Anyway, we are people of the internet. Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Ruo Chegero, and this is Political Lady coming to you at 7:30 in the evening from the city of Glasses. It's not 7:30. I am blaming Safina Party for coming late, so that is why we were not able to start on time. So
important people don't come early.
Yeah, so that is what is going on today. I'm in the studio with veteran activists. You know, the other day he was in town. Probably one of the activists that were in town doing amazing things on Sabasaba Day. People of the internet, Sabasaba Day is my birthday, and Mr. Mulama was in town, and alifukuzwa sana na DCI na NIS and the police.
Alikuwa na the reincarnated Kenyatta.
Yeah, who is that?
You don't know the Kenyatta reincarnate?
Kenyatta reincarnate? Yeah. Uhuru Kenyatta?
No, Jomo Kenyatta reincarnate.
Who is that?
An activist.
Oh, I know there is an activist called Kenyatta, by the way. But tell me about
the semblance.
Tell me about that Kenyatta.
The semblance with the first president of Kenya is uncanny. Even pronunciation and his way of speaking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you think there is somebody that should come here?
I do not know. I do not want to speculate and cause a lot of noise.
Mr. Mulama would ask you to position your mic properly so that we can start.
Is it positioned?
Yes, yours is fine, I believe, and I think that the internet is okay. I wanted to welcome people of the internet, but my internet is not working, so I wonder.
I do not even 14 are watching, but I don't know where they are.
No, it's 82.
It's 82 who are watching, but me, I can't.
55 watching.
Yes, I can't see.
Yangu ndio iko mbele kabisa kwani.
Kuna wangapi?
Oh, yeah.
Comments oonge bwana.
Ai, iko sawa. We are going to start the podcast now because I think we are now okay. I'm looking handsome. Everything is okay. That's all that matters. Mr. Mulama, I want to welcome you to the program today. I hope that you are doing well.
Yes.
What is the state of the country? Are you able to give me from the Sabasaba? What have you watched so far? And I also want you to try and introduce the topic of today, what you know about it, what you think about it. We have the sovereign fund that was put in law yesterday by His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. And we had a gazettement of the people that are going to be leading the National Infrastructure Fund. And some of the people that are there are a bit fishy people. And we are going to be talking about it. I have Mr. Joachim Simiyu, the SG of Safina Party, Safina Pesa. The other day yesterday I put up a status on my WhatsApp, mtu akamwambia hii ni Safina Pesa ama Safina Chai. Okay? I have Queen Vashti, the beautiful one at Political Headache. I want to welcome you very much. But I want to go back to Mulama. Mulama, what do you think about the state of our country today? Are you happy? The transformers I hear are being migrated from Beere North and they are being installed in Olkalau as we speak. I hear Gachagua is going to Olkalau to beat the drums of United Opposition in the run-up to the by-election. Linda Mwananchi is headed there over the weekend on Sunday. So things have caught fire. What do you think about the country today?
Good evening, Kenyans from all over the corners of the country, from Moyale, Mount Elgon, huko Mombasa, na huko Kajiado. Muko sawa? Hata mimi niko sawa. From where I sit, coming from a constituency that has seen little development since I was born, I would wish that our member of parliament kicks the bucket. Yes.
That's a very bad wish.
I would wish that our member of parliament, Madam Edith Nyenze, kicks the bucket. Not because I hate her, but because I have seen that in this country, development could move in a month. You could see miraculous things in a month. Roads built in a week. Schools and hospitals built in 2 days. You would see boats allocated to Olkalau that were never allocated before. You would see government mattresses distributed left, right, and center. And for the first time, the citizens of Olkalau and the good people of Olkalau have been gifted with gas cookers, gas cylinders to be precise. And looking at the goodies that have been presented to the people of Olkalau, all in a very short period, including the transformers that were uprooted from Beere and lifted to Olkalau during the night. I think I would wish to have a by-election in our constituency. Because if that is how development will move in a very short period, when you guys have a by-election, I am told by now Olkalau has already 50 kilometers of tarmac done by now. Done in two months. This is unprecedented development and progress that the people of Olkalau have not seen in 63 years. So if it only takes one member of parliament's death to experience astronomical development in your region, I mean, ours should just go. After all, she has, I wouldn't want to say she has outlived her purpose, but she's lived long enough.
How old is she?
She's way past 60, close to 70. And given that her husband served us to his death, the Honorable Francis Nyenze, for almost 20 years, then the wife took over. Kitui West is a dynasty. I think that family already has enough. And going by all standards, they are living large. And if it takes our death to experience beautiful roads, stadia, boats, and investment that Kitui West has never seen, then myself as a resident of Kitui West, I'm very welcome to that particular idea. If that's how development should work in this country or should move in this country, and if that is how our resources should be distributed. And coming to the question of resources, if you would ask me, I don't think Kenya needs a wealth fund. Well, this has been the preserve of countries that have surpluses in their budget and countries that have immense deposits of mineral resources and countries that are well endowed with, they call them natural gifts. Looking at this country, that doesn't even have a mineral audit or a register for the minerals we have. Looking at a country that has a perpetual deficit budget, I don't think a wealth fund is a priority to us. But that's so because William Ruto has pushed us down that route. We have no option but to discuss what is pushing to be achieved by this country or by his regime. And we have to take it apart, internalize the good and criticize the bad. A wealth fund is supposed to manage wealth. There are two types of wealth funds, to the best of my knowledge: a sovereign wealth fund and a national infrastructure fund. A sovereign wealth fund is owned by the government and invests a government's wealth to build more wealth. For instance, a sovereign wealth fund could invest our national savings under NSSF to reproduce this wealth and beget more wealth.
I'm going to allow you to get into the nitty-gritties, but for now, I wanted to get an overview of your feeling about the Wealth Fund and the National Infrastructure Fund.
Yes, I was getting to the National Infrastructure Fund. On the other hand, a National Infrastructure Fund is created mainly to finance infrastructure projects. These are roads, railways, ports, airports, digital infrastructure, water systems, and what have you. Unlike a sovereign wealth fund that endeavors to build wealth for the citizens, a national infrastructure fund primarily focuses on building infrastructure. Sasa utaambiwa stadium ingine ndio hii, barabara ingine ndio hii, the shiny thing Sifuna keeps referring to. And in my opinion, I don't think we should put a lot of emphasis on the National Infrastructure Fund as opposed to the Sovereign Wealth Fund. See,
I'm gonna have to come back to you because I want to invite this gentleman to the program, Mr. Joachim. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well.
Things have happened as you've heard. There are transformers being zinangoka. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are being teared down from Bere North and shifted to Olkalau. We have one of the CEOs that have led one of the controversial, can we say finance organization, finance companies in the name of Centum being, proposed to go and to the board of the new NIF, the National Infrastructure Fund. We are going to be talking about him later on. And a lot of things are shrouded in things that we do not understand. Olkalau is coming up fast, around the bend. We have Wamunyoro has announced that he's going there. We have the government ministers, almost 7 of them, 10 of them, MPs.
The whole government is there.
The whole government is there. We have Sifuna and team going there this Sunday.
In Olkalau?
Yes.
Okay.
They are going to Olkalau to drum up support against the government. In as far when I asked Abizwena, she told me that they are not going there to campaign for against Mr. Mushina, all right? But they are going there to campaign against the government. So then it goes without saying. What do you think about all these things happening this week and Sabasaba? I think you have not talked since Sabasaba on this podcast.
Yeah. On Sabasaba, I was in Nakuru with my party leader. We're having a conversation with the people of Nakuru, just a discussion on the direction of the country, what is supposed to be done, what's the question of election, so on and so forth. And I have to say it here that the people of Nakuru were very hospitable to us. And I must say thank you very much. Nakuru is a hotbed of Kenya's politics, even as Azimio began in Nakuru. So the things that are coming up in Mbeere North, no.
In Olkalau.
In Olkalau. It's another episode of outright conmanship. Weaponizing poverty to whip up emotions and think you're offering breadcrumbs to a hungry lot. So you look at it, and yesterday, the once fired minister, Mr. Moses Kuria, showed up in Olkalau with hosepipes yesterday and told them that every household is going to be connected to water. So I wondered that all of a sudden the government realized that in Olkalau people are not connected to water. And they have been given a one-time gas cylinder.
What is a one-time gas?
A one-time gas cylinder is a special gas cylinder. A gas cylinder that you can only use once and you can't refill it. And the people of Kalau have been given that just to buy their conscience so that they vote for the person of UDA. So the things that are happening in Kalau actually show you that the government is quite desperate to show that it can pull things to happen. But then again, the dynamics in a by-election is different, quite different from the dynamics of a general election. Because in a by-election, you can send 7 PSCs in one constituency. You can send all your director generals in parastatals. You can send everyone, even a deputy president can camp in that particular area. But when it comes to national general election, everyone is running their own race. You will not get the deputy president camping in one constituency because they have to traverse the whole country to get the votes. You cannot get 7 PSs in one area. So the government is playing a script that is going to be quite different from what should happen in a general election. So I am quite confident that the things that are happening in Kalau cannot by any chance solve the problem of the people of Kalau. To come to the issue of the Sovereign Wealth Fund and the National Infrastructure Fund. I think when they introduced this idea, we had a very lengthy conversation about it. And I told you my reservations, my skepticism, because I try to make people understand why am I saying no to something. Generally, an idea of a national infrastructure fund or a wealth fund is a widely accepted idea in countries that are able to finance such things. And for you to come up with any of those, sovereign wealth fund or a national infrastructure fund, one qualification for a country to even start thinking of the same is an infinite source of revenue outside the budget of the country. Infinite. If you are an oil producer, rare earth minerals, you have a surplus on your budget. That your budget is 4.8 trillion, but your revenue is 9 trillion. Okay. So what do? You have to look for avenues that you can use the surplus for investment and for rainy days. That's when you think of a sovereign wealth fund or a national infrastructure fund. And when you come up with a national infrastructure fund, you have to scrap off development from the national budget. So when you are reading the budget, the item of development should be deleted because we now have the National Infrastructure Fund patented for development. But if we have both running, then we are running 2 budgets.
Yeah.
Because in this budget that we have, our taxes are supposed to sponsor development worth 760 billion. But we have a national infrastructure fund that is looking to rake in money that we are going to get from liquidating government assets. So concurrently, we are running 2 budgets. That's one of my reservations. National sovereign wealth fund. You look at countries that have something of similar sort, and I was looking at a country that the president fell in love with and became its ambassador, Singapore. They have something similar to the sovereign wealth fund. But how do they fund it? They fund it from the surplus of the revenue they get. They invest it. So they look around the world, where can they invest for more income? So they can invest in a football team. They can invest in a multinational corporation. They can invest they can lend to other countries. So Kama Kenya, if we have a sovereign wealth fund, we can lend money to Tanzania And then Tanzania in their public debt, wakiongea, Kenya is one of their lenders. But how are we intending to fund these things? Is out of liquidating government assets. We do not have an infinite number of assets. When you look at state corporations, earmarked for privatization, is it 100? Nearly 100 state corporations. So when you do that, and you finally run out of any asset to liquidate, then how do you continue funding these things?
I think you got it wrong because the money that the government is getting from the shares of Safaricom and KPC is not supposed to be sustainable in the long run. It is going to act as a seed capital at first, so that other investors can now come and help us invest. So you need seed capital, and then after the first year imesha run, it's going to attract other investors to come and invest in that fund. So actually, in simple terms, that fund acts like an investment bank. You know how investment banking works. Any Kenyan can now go and invest. Unaweza enda buy shares, ama unaweza peleka pesa yako kwa an investment bank, and then that investment bank inaenda kuinvestia. Umeona? So basically that's what they are doing. So see at easy sale of maybe Safaricom na KPC, they are not going to do that in the long run.
So we are going to use the money we've sold Kenya Pipeline Corporation to run a pilot program.
Yes, that's the seed.
So that we can invite people.
Yes,
to
so
come
that
and
it can
invest
attract investors. You know, you cannot
to invest in what?
To invest in that company. Okay, so how it is working?
Okay.
See, walisema.
Can I welcome you to the program, and then you can, because Joachim, I've already welcomed him. I want to officially welcome you, and then start from what you think about Olkalau. Then tell me about what you think about the National Infrastructure Fund and the sister. The Sovereign Fund. I think that's a good place to start, right?
Yes, sure. Yes. Thank you for officially welcoming me.
Yes.
What do I think about Olkalau? I think it's a very interesting, because I'm interested in politics for the sake of politics.
Okay.
I get excited with politics. It's very interesting. It's like a game. Kwangu, although I know it carries a lot of public interest. Yeah.
For you look at it as a chessboard.
Yes,
it's a draft.
In some way, it excites me, and everyone is now in Olkalau. Anyone who is notable in politics, kila mtu anaenda kukampenia huko saidi yake, and I'm very interested to see how it's going to turn out in the end after the results come in. Olkalau, something interesting about Olkalau, you know, after independence, kulikuwa people were fighting for land when the fight for independence was going on. And after independence, Kenyatta did not give Mau Mau people land. A lot of people were not given land, the people who fought for independence. And because kulikuwa, Nyandarua was seen as a place where there was massive lands, so kulikuwa na a lot of people who were moving from other regions in Mount Kenya going to Olkalau. So the people in Olkalau, most of them are squatters who came from these other areas. Okay. So when we are talking about development right now, the development yenye inaendelea huko hivyo, I think it's a good thing for them, even though the way it is being done it is not done in the right way. But
so when Mbeere North people are given transformers, electric transformers during a campaign, okay, and told that this is the government helping you guys, and then shortly after, those transformers are stripped and struck down and then put in lorries and sent to Olkalau. That is the kind of development.
No, I'm saying the development is not being done.
How about the gas that can only be filled once? How about IDs that are being exchanged for money? How is that development?
It's not being done in the right way. The government is being.
Then it is not development,
yes,
right?
It's not development.
Because the roads are 3-inch. You see.
The one from Gong to Suswa.
The one in Migori.
The one from Gong to Suswa.
So they come with a crater.
Okay.
Not even an excavator.
Okay,
just a crater on a Maram road.
Okay.
Then a crater, you see how they level the road.
Okay.
So once it's done, then there is another tractor with
Maram, with the tarmac.
With the tarmac.
Okay.
Asphalt.
Asphalt, yeah.
So they come and they come on that Maram road that has been leveled by a crater.
Yeah.
They come with the asphalt truck. Then it's like painting a road black.
Okay.
With 3 inches of paint.
3 inches of paint.
Yes, 3 inches of paint. So when they take a picture of a newly painted road,
okay,
it looks so amazing, and you are likely to say, "Oh, Old Kalau is finally accessing."
This is what Vash is calling in development.
But I'm not the only person who call it development. So Joachim called it development. He called it development.
No.
But we all know it is development in quotes.
So
no. Joachim did not call it development. You are the one calling it development. You are the one calling it.
My sister here likes being at the gray area.
She's very cheeky.
So when that road is looking like that,
okay,
the only vehicle that will enjoy in the meanwhile to use that road is the campaign vehicles for government that are coming there. But 3 months after this campaign, that road will be impassable.
Yeah. It's gonna be worse. You rather leave it as Maram road,
yes,
than try to paint it
like
black.
the Suswa one.
Yes,
like the ones that are happening in other parts of in Migori, just to show these people that something is finally happening here. But it's a con game. It's a blinding thing. It's a showbiz because you can't actually do the real thing. Like right now, when you look at Rironi Mau Summit, it looks very busy. You see, when you pass by, you are more likely to think something big is happening. But it's trucks carrying, mchanga ikitoa, ikirudi.
Yeah.
And some, some mawe and steel. Kuna steel fixing and calabats built.
Yeah.
But it's, you see, when we tell people that it's a con game, people don't believe us. But it's a whole con game.
I wanted Vash to finish her thought because there was something interesting. We just got angry at some point because she was calling it good development.
I was not saying it's good development. You are the ones who got angry at what I was saying.
Okay. Well, what exactly were you saying? You were saying that the end justifies the means.
Oh, can I add more to the fire?
Is it a crater or a grader?
Grader.
Yeah, so my Bukusu accent came into action.
The government wants to build a stadium at Ol Kalou.
Your mic is very far away from
the government wants to build a stadium at Ol Kalou. It wants to revive the Nyahururu rail service. The government
kuna boats huko.
Kuna boats zimepelekwa huko.
Do they have a lake?
I think they have a small lake.
You know the boats remind me of what CBC does. You know, in CBC insists on swimming, but there are schools in this country that do not have any swimming pool.
Yes.
So they swim on grass.
Aye.
Yes. You have to swim, but there is no swimming pool. You swim on grass. I saw a picture in Turkana.
You see
children on grass.
Because you have to know how to swim, but where is there's nowhere to swim. Huh?
That's actually terrible.
Yeah, that's what they do. I hear they swim on grass.
So you can be rated as the best swimmer on grass.
Yes.
So as for the stadium that will be initiated in Ol Kalou, I need to remind them that is another Kamarini loading. Wakimalizana na hii by election hawana haja na nyinyi tena. As for the last mile connectivity, wewe omba sana kama uko Ol Kalou stima ifike kwenu, kwa sababu kura zikipigwa next week kama hawajafika kwenu kuweka stima, hiyo story tumemaliza. As for the digital hubs, msisahau bwana, tuliambiwa tutaletewa digital hubs kila mahali. Saa hizi ziko, hata ile wifi ilikuwa imewekwa hapa town haifanyi. Enjoy hii 1 week. Saa hii tuko campaign mode. Tukimaliza hii wiki moja, nyinyi msikuje kutuliza digital hubs ziko wapi? Kwa nini wifi haifanyi? hiyo msahau, si mmepewa tau hiyo, sasa mlipe nayo wifi serikali ikimaliza ku campaign.
Do you guys know there's this song inaitwa Mzee Tupa Tupa? Do you know it? Paliku Mzee Tupa Tupa by Bahati Bukuku.
Mzee Tupa Tupa. What is it about?
Niwa paliku wepo baba jina lake Tupa Tupa.
So he was shown hell. The first time hell looked so amazing. With women in clubs, beautiful,
drinking,
alcohol.
Then he was taken to heaven.
Wacha nione mbinguni ndo ni make decision.
Akapelekwa
mbinguni akaona watu ni kuimba na kusifu, akaona
na kuabudu.
This is boring.
Uko bana.
Take me to hell. Wakamuuliza, so you've made a decision? Akasema, I think I like what I saw. So when he
why was he being shown the booths only and the women?
That is the point of
so he finally chose to go to hell.
And when he finally went back, it was a fiery furnace. When he came first, the devil looked very handsome.
Okay.
Mpaka alikuwa anamuongelesha.
Yes, mpaka alikuwa anamuongelesha Mr. Tupa Tupa. Wamekuwa wakikwambia the hell is kubaya.
So in this whole matrix, who's Mr. Tupa Tupa?
Alafu akauliza na jameni, kwani sahi akauliza mbona kuna chomeka huku, akaambiwa huo wakati tulikuwa campaign. This is how hell looks like. This is how hell looks like. That is the story of Mzee Tupa Tupa.
Campaign it looks good, but
who is Mr. Tupa Tupa?
In this case, Mr. Tupa Tupa is a voter.
Is a voter, watu wa Olkalau.
Yes.
Na yule jamaa mwenye alikuwa na yule shetani mwenye alikuwa anasema Mr. Tupa Tupa, how are you?
Mwenye anakusalimia na dhao. Nasikia huko Olkalau sasa hakuna change. Ukinunua chai na thao, wewe enda nyumbani. Hatuna pesa kidogo, hakuna 500, hakuna 200.
Utaenda change wapi? Mwenye unaenda kwake pia
hakuna dhao. So let's get back to the cash handouts.
Okay, the cash handouts.
IBC appears
to be playing. But you have to let me get back to this girl, because I think she needed to say something, but I want you to finish your thought.
The cash handouts. IBC appears to be regulating the opposition, but it has no business regulating how government spends our own resources, trying to campaign for a by-election using an inflated budget of close to, say, 100 million. Najua hata sahi they have spent more than 100 million.
No, it can't be 100 million. It's much more.
Yes. So they have spent close to 600 million by now. Na IBC sahi imefunga macho. Government spending, Gachagua spending. So that's the problem. So if you scrutinize spending from the opposition, but you have no business scrutinizing spending from the government, basi sisi tunaanza kusema IBC haiko impartial. You guys don't seem to be fair. You have double standards. When the opposition is spending for by-elections or for any other election, you guys are very keen on how much the opposition candidates are spending. But when the government is spending, sisi wote tuko IBC, sisi ni vipofu. And by the way, you remember there was a report by the IBC. The MPs do not want to be oversighted on how much they spend on campaigns. All elected leaders do not want to be oversighted. Lakini mwenye amekubali kukuwa oversighted ni national government for the first time. This is funny. Executive imesema you can oversight us, lakini parliament na senate imesema sisi hatutaki ceiling kwa pesa yenye tunatumia campaign. Hii ni mnakuwa prepared psychologically, pesa inakuja na pesa tutamwaga. Wewe usisikize sera, angalia note ya thao. And if we go by that reasoning, then this amounts to voter bribery. And if IBC cannot show its impartiality right now, iseme kama ni serikali, ni viongozi ambao kwa serikali wanatumia pesa kupita kiasi, because there is a constitutional limit to how much you can spend for a parliamentary seat. Basi kama hawezi kuwa impartial to crack the whip on akina Moses Kuria na hao MPs wengine wenye wame overuse budget ya parliamentary seat, basi where do we get the confidence to trust them with the general elections?
The question that I keep asking, before I come to you, Vashti, is that why I've realized that certain independent arms of government do not appreciate their independence. IEBC starts with independent.
Electoral and Boundaries Commission. So,
All right? IPOA,
There was a joke.
same thing.
There was a joke one time. Someone said, anything that must have the name independent in it, there is nothing independent about it. Anything that has any name close to democratic, there is nothing democratic about it. If you are independent, if you are democratic, you wouldn't have to advertise it. We should see it in how you actually carry out your organization and your institution, and how you conduct
Safina
business.
Party, how are you guys? Do you appreciate the independence of IEBC, and does this worry you in the run-up to the elections of 2027?
You know, it will be foolhardy to believe that they will be fair. If you believe they will be fair, then you are not ready for an election. You start by putting measures in place of making sure that their unfair play will not carry the day. And we are ready for it.
Are you?
Yeah. We are ready for it. Do you know how 34A came to exist?
No. Please let me know.
Do you know the person who pulled the strings behind the scenes?
Was that Brigadier Jimmy Wanjigi?
He's not. He's captain.
Captain.
Yeah.
He's not brigadier. I thought you were the captain.
No. The captain is the one in charge of the vessel.
Okay. So that is Captain Jimmy Wanjigi.
Yes. So, in readiness of any unfair play, you see, for a very long time now, we've been waiting to hear presidential results made at Bomas.
Okay.
But according to the law, the presidential result must be made at the constituency level. That the returning officer of the constituency must announce there that the presidential result in this constituency is as follows.
Is this the law, or this is what you are going to make
This
sure
is
happen?
the law already in place.
Sure, it's the law.
It's in place. It's because we've been so accustomed to Bomas of Kenya that we do not remember that the result must be made at the constituency level. So you as a Kenyan is to do the tallying. Just as it happens in the US. An election happens in August, but the commission of the election meets in December when the president was already declared, according to media projections, because they have followed on the media on how the electoral body is announcing. So you know, in Olkalau, presidential result is as follows. Kuna Riruta constituency? Hakuna Riruta.
But the Riruta is somewhere. It could be
in
a ward.
Mbeere North, South,
in Mbeere North. So
Gatundu.
before even Ethecon announces, you know that according to these results that we have, so and so has already.
But you really can't know every part of the country.
No, you can know. If
For
you
example,
pay
Ruto is going to say, okay, who's going to... I mean, if Baringo people hear that it's a different from
the
what
media is compelled by the constitution to make those results available as announced at that particular constituency. So you can follow up. So when they start telling you results at the polling station, inakuanga ni diversionary tactics. And there are other measures that I cannot tell you now. Because they will develop.
Will you tell us as time progresses?
Yeah.
As we near the
In
election.
due time.
Can I come back to Vash?
Yeah.
Vash was shut down by you guys when she was talking about developers. You better be careful, Vash. I mean, people are very unhappy.
I should be careful with my language. Anyway. As I was saying, I'm also very concerned at the amount of money that is being thrown in Olkalau. Because just the other day, IBC ilitoa hiyo mambo ya Campaign Finance Act. Na they were having a cap, walikuwa wanapeana cap of the money that can be used in all elections. I think they are having public participation by July 15th. Yeah, you can go and
I have seen the president must only use 4.44 billion.
Yes, kuna hizo, but now
4.4 billion.
Yes, that's the cap.
That's the cap.
But let me ask you, simple mathematics. Let me say registered voters in Kenya, how many? We are looking at a possibility of 28 million, right? So when you are doing t-shirts, your merchandise as a presidential candidate. You look at half the registered voters. So that's 14 million. Let me say one t-shirt costs you 200 shillings.
Okay.
Multiply by 14 million. On merchandise, you've not done anything.
How much is that?
That's almost 10 billion.
Really?
Yes. Past. Kenyans usually they correct me here.
But
So
this
when
is
you look at
research.
14 million multiplied by 200, that's how much? That's not unless you are having donations. Then even on your logistics,
Donations is part of the money.
yeah,
Yes,
you
it's
have
part
to
of the
declare
money.
it.
Yes.
You have to declare it.
If somebody gives you 300,000 t-shirts, you can't say it's donations. You change it into money. Yes. and-
So the conversation comes in, do we really need t-shirts during campaigns? Do we really need them? We don't really need them anyway. Hata kwa rally za baba.
no,
most of them are-
but Joachim is telling you what will happen.
Yeah, yes, ndio hiyo sasa tunasema when we are talking about this discussion, because IBCC wanafanya public participation right now and they have given a cap hiyo 4.4 billion in the presidential election, and then kuna hizo zingine
Political
counties.
party 17 billion.
Yes, and then there is the counties, governors, hizo.
The political party what is a political party?
So as Safina, cumulatively,
You are supposed to
we are
spend
supposed
not
to
more than
spend
17
only
billion.
17 billion.
Okay, but then if you are going to be
So I don't know how the metrics they will use to establish as a political party how much did we use, because sometimes
do you think IBC is serious with what they're coming out and saying?
formalities to look like you're busy. You see,
And how about money for by-elections for over an MP? How much is it supposed to be according to IEBC?
I do not know.
The members of parliament resisted all efforts to institute a cap on how much they spend on their parliamentary elections.
But if you put a cap on how much a member of parliament uses to campaign, what else do they have?
Wanataka wa spend 17.5 million to 123.
Two?
That is the cap. 123 million. That is the
17?
cap. 17.5 million to 123 million. That is the
Well, I
cap
think
that-
you're being modest with the numbers. I think according to Mizani and Infotrack, the average amount of money any parliamentary aspirant, the serious ones, use to campaign for the period they campaign, whether 3 years, 2 years, 5 years, is usually somewhere between 30 to 50 million.
Yeah.
So
Not
ndio
17.
Ndio hiyo IBC nataka you can spend in that range between 17 to
123.
Yes.
So IBC ikisema VAST wanataka aje?
Si hivyo ndio venye
They are
inafaa
giving
ikuwe.
directives.
Like-
So,
like-
regulations.
like-
80 million.
And how are they going to implement this?
See, they are going to audit. They
Audit
have the
what?
power to-
After
How much
elections,
money
or
you've
But
spent?
money for elections is done using wash money.
So-
I mean, it is
so
money that is
the-
coming in TXS.
the campaign
Imejaa
finance.
kwa boot. Sasa wanaenda kuaudit
So
wapi?
nikuulize,
Ndio hiyo sawa wanajaribu hii
let me
mambo ya
ask
wash
you,
goes isikue.
Jagero has given me 200
Yeah,
million.
yes.
Not in paper.
Yes.
It is cash.
And this is the problem that I keep having with Africans, that they want to borrow these things and they know it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
You know?
It will not work.
For example, in America, nobody goes to a garden in New York and starts distributing cash.
No.
It doesn't
You will be
happen.
arrested on the spot.
So when they bring that kind of law to Kenya and claim that they are going to audit, what are they going to audit?
It is actually
I mean,
not
people
a
are
new law.
having money. In fact, I was being told by one of the political operatives that there is no M-Pesa during elections.
So the argument is
Okay.
it's not a new law. It started in 2013, but members of parliament walikuwa wanakataa because now it will put a cap in their spending na wanataka ku spend a lot.
Okay.
So hao ndo wamekuwa wakikataa. Implementation imekuwa shaky because of members of parliament. But the idea is because people spend a lot of money during campaigns. Watu wenye wako na merit kama mimi Priska nataka kuenda ku campaign, I do not have enough money to go and campaign. That makes me sana kuwa discriminated against.
Yeah.
Umeona? So in order to make our campaigns more meritable and the people that we elect more meritable, inafaa waweke a cap.
But I am
in our
prepared to
spending.
campaign in Nairobi with a single
But you also see pia hapo shida inatokea na pia na voters wenyewe. Kama voters pia wanataka pesa every day,
No.
then the campaigns also
Voters
become
want
very
money
expensive.
because they do not have it.
Yes, and
People
they
with
also
money
and
don't
they
go to
also
those
and I
things.
also think that voters do not want money because they know that you're not going to help them anyway.
Yeah.
When you end up being, because we are going to be given money
There are
like
some,
twins.
But
The
how are
reason-
we going to end that vicious cycle? How are we going to end that vicious cycle? If we say that we want change in Kenya, and mimi sijui umetoa wapi pesa Jageru, and you are coming to give me that money, mimi nachukua hiyo pesa, and I know sijui umetoa wapi, but that money has to go back.
Joachim, if you asked me, I am saying that the IEBC just needs to be vigilant about how people spend money. If they can see a video of you collecting people in a market and giving them money, deal with that one. Not saying that you're going to audit. Audit sangapi.
And after the audit, then what do they do?
What do they do after the audit? Are they going to take away the MP from you? Are they going to put an MP in
I'm
prison?
already sworn in.
Yes.
I spend, let me say 100 million.
Yes.
Let me say the cap is at 70. Then you audit after election. I'm already sworn in parliament. Then what are you going to do with the audit report? It's like the CDF audit reports from the Auditor General. We have them. A member of parliament for 2 terms who has been given in CDF funds 2 billion because every term is 1 billion. They are receiving 210 billion. The only money accounted for is 341 billion in 10 years. So this guy has eaten how much?
So the idea
1.6 billion.
You are going to be in prison.
So what where?
No. But do you know what the
Who
law?
has ever been in prison? Do you know where Analo is? Analo.
Who is Analo?
The person who we found money in his house. Is he imprisoned?
The
Oh, the
CEO,
gentleman from
the
the-
CEO of
from-
the county government.
Yeah.
The CEO of the he's not even
Yes.
CEO.
The lady with the 6.5 edible oil scandal. Where is she? She's not Mandago, who ate Finland money. Where is he?
How about Waluke?
Yeah.
Of course they are not, but
How about
it is just an ideal
the sister to
situation.
Mudi Awori, Grace Wakungu?
Yeah. Bwana. Hii maneno.
But you see now that is the problem with politicians like Joachim. They are the ones who claim to make these laws. They are the ones who go break them, and there is nothing. I mean, hata nyinyi Vash watu wa Lang'ata, msikie your MP is going to prison. Si nyinyi mtakuwa mnarandarana kwa
Nyinyi
barabara
ni kina nani?
mkilight up fires.
Mimi naenda amekula hiyo pesa na nini?
Jagero, I can tell you. And this should be a very serious warning. That after 2027, there will be gnashing of teeth. Actual gnashing of teeth by the people who have squandered public money. They will see the Kenya they have never seen. This is not Kenya where you steal and be promoted for stealing. Because these are countries, look at how we do things. You look at counties, how people who emerge as members of parliament are formerly county assembly members. In most cases, the majority leader and the chairperson of the budget at the county level. How do they emerge? By pilfering county money, amassing enough to campaign, then they are promoted to parliament. You have chosen the best thief from the county. You've sent him to the parliament. What do you expect? And that's the person who should make a law that should imprison a thief. And it's thievery that made him a member of parliament. Then we come here and complain how parliament is captured. No.
You can't capture somebody who's really captured, right?
Yes.
You remember the conversation about electing a thief to arrest other thieves. Tunachagua mwizi ndio washike hao wezi wengine kwa sababu wanajuana kwa vilemba. Where did that get us? Si waliungana wakaiba pamoja? Ni kama electing a cartel to deal with cartels. They are going to collaborate somewhere around 2 months after the election. Na sasa ndio mtafinywa proper.
For the sake of stability of the country.
And they have to preserve the plate they eat from.
Let me ask you. The report, the TJRC report, was compiled when? When Raila and Kibaki were exiting power as Prime Minister and President. So the person who received the TJRC report is who? President Uhuru Kenyatta. Did he implement it?
Well, he did that. I don't think he did.
He did. So it's not that we have not put things in place. Things are there. Reports, Ndungu reports, sijui nini. But who is brave enough? Tumekaa chini tukadiscuss kama ile story ya panya na paka. Panya waliona hapana, huyu paka amekula sisi sana. Tunafaa to come up with something of letting us know if the cat is around.
Okay.
So one brilliant panya came up and said, we make a kengele.
Okay.
A bell. Then time the cat tuivalishe kwa shingo. Panya zingine zikapiga makofi. That's brilliant. So that akikuja tunasikia kengele ikifanya tingil tingil tunajificha. Then one old panya in a corner raised the hand and said,
Panya.
Yes. But who will go? Avalishe paka kengele.
Vashti leo utaenda.
Wote wakanyamaza.
Wakasema mambo biadi.
Yes. So it remained a very good idea. But who is brave enough? Who? To go and finally implement this thing. That's the problem we have again.
So we have a problem of the cat and the mouse.
Yes.
That nobody is going to put that bell on the packer.
Yes, because you have to put your life on the line to do it. Like for example, when we are talking about not paying debt, who do you think we are addressing? What do you think they are thinking? Because it's
so we have IMF packer. We have the London clubs packer.
World Bank.
We have the World Bank packer.
The biggest problem is not IMF, is not World Bank, it's our own banks. Out of 1 trillion that we borrow, 90% is domestic. So who are we addressing? These ones.
It is the owners of this bank.
So that's why you can't go to court. You need executive power to deal with these things. So it needs some boldness to do these changes. Otherwise, we will come here in 2027. Mwezi wa sita. Mwezi wa ngapi? Mwezi wa 10.
Vash, what do you think should be done so that these laws can be IEBC? IEBC has never changed for a long time. We remember the days of Kivuitu, you know, the ones that were crouching in the dark and announcing the president and even justices, you know, inaugurating people in the dark. Kivuitu is now no more. But before Kivuitu, there was another Isaac Hassan. Isaac Hassan was troubled.
No, that's after Kivuitu.
That's after Kivuitu.
Yes.
Then after Isaac Hassan, we had another one. Chebukati.
Who died a very miserable death.
Yeah, and it is like a poison chalice, this IEBC. It looks like it is completely captured by the state.
But how do you become the IEBC chair?
How?
Somebody has to nominate you. So you apply, then you are nominated. Who nominates the IEBC chair? And who agrees that this one is actually good? It's the president. So the president has very many sycophants in parliament. Who should be the ones vetting? You see? So the vetting process is not as thorough as it is needed. Because out of the attendees and the applicants, we want someone there. And that's the person we want. Predetermined.
Predetermined.
Yes. So the rest.
Hakuna shoka.
I think the president is given an opportunity to choose between 3 gentlemen or gentle ladies. If I am to choose for myself a referee out of 3, definitely I will
choose the one who agrees with me. What parameter?
Now we have talked about FIFA and Messi, and how Messi appears to be the poster child for FIFA.
Yes, and how Infantino is anafanya hivi, Messi akimiss penalty.
And you remember,
and then somebody is given a red
Yes.
and the president calls the FIFA president, the president of the United States calls FIFA president and tells you, no, this guy has to play.
That
and they have
red
to
is
bend the
overturned.
rules for that person.
So the talk about Messi being favored by referees, by FIFA referees and by the president of FIFA should alarm all of us, because we saw that game between Argentina and Egypt, and we knew, and we all know, that Egypt won that game, and we saw how the decisions were made. And if you juxtapose that with the situation we have in Kenya, where the president chooses his own referee, then will the situation be any different?
But why were the writers and the creators of the Constitution, why would they do that?
I don't think the framers of our Constitution envisaged a point in time where we would have presidents as evil as the ones we have.
No,
as nefarious.
No, I don't agree with you at all.
Let me land with this point. If you have good
Did
presidents,
Orengo, the framer of a constitution, think that we are going to have a saint as a president in the next 5
I
or 10
don't think they
years?
expected this president would be this bad. In the spirit of nationalism and patriotism, if that means
But
something,
Kibaki did that.
I'm saying
Uhuru did that.
Yes, if nationalism and patriotism means something to the leaders we elect, we would expect them to choose a chairperson who would want to serve the Kenyans and who would want to be impartial.
doesn't make sense.
And to deliver for
Before
Kenyans. Remember, Kiasi Joachim, the president appoints so many people. He does not only appoint the chairperson of the IEBC.
But and that's the point. Why is he appointing so many people?
That's why I've had this discussion before and said we need to rein on the appointive powers of the president. Perhaps someone else should be doing these appointments. Perhaps another committee or another commission, not the president.
Because we have had a lot of chances to correct this thing in 2010.
But now,
But I also think that the people that were framing this constitution envisaged a time when they will be ruling themselves.
you see, the
Right?
activists of the 90s became the political class of today. People who are in
Because
the poll.
your grandfather Raila Odinga knew that he was going to be president, and the creators Orengo and so many of his friends. That Muhindi guy, what is his name?
This one, he was not in agreement with it.
Which
he
one?
had his own draft.
Which draft?
Kulikuwa na wako draft and which one?
Which Wako draft was saying what about the appointing things?
You see,
No,
Ruto has
the-
been consistent in
the-
opposing the constitution. He opposed it in 2005 and
look,
still opposed it in 2010.
even if it was Joachim, he would still choose the IEBC chair that will be very,
But let me ask you.
very favorable
Let
to
me
him.
ask you.
So why don't we just deny him that chance of choosing?
Yes, let me ask you. Why do we look for power?
To
What
control.
are the reasons?
To control
Yes, and to control what?
resources.
Resources. So it's an economic reason.
Okay.
So, but in most cases, some of these people look for power, in some cases,
Yeah.
to cushion themselves from repercussions of the things they have done. So, the winning of an election becomes a do or die thing.
It is. And look, and this is what I expected the framers of the constitution to actually understand, that you do not want a referee to be chosen by one of the players or by the coaches. You don't do it. So why was the Vast, what is going on? Why are you quiet?
Sina neno ya kusema. Anyway, the president is not supposed to, the president anakuja later into the process. He's not supposed to be appointing and picking who the head of the IEBC is supposed to be. There's a panel, wakianza your process, there's an independent panel that is inakuja from professionals, watu wenye wanajua. You know, when you are applying to be the IEBC chair, and then hao ndo wanakuchagua, and then after there,
Yes, there was that panel.
yes.
At the end they
walikuwa wanang'ang'ana kabisa kukwenda.
Hata hiyo kina Raila Odinga walikuwa wanalalamika at the time. Everyone wanted to be part of that. And then after that ndo inaenda kwa parliament. And then parliament ina shortlist the people.
Inakuwa appointed na nani?
Siwache nimalize kwanza.
No, nauliza tu ndo uendelee.
Siwache nimalize kwanza.
In that panel,
hiyo panel
Kwa hiyo
acha nimsaidie kujibu. Kwa hiyo panel
Can I get some tea, please?
some members from LSK. LSK appoint some panelists. The religious council, I think NCCK, appoint some of the panelists. Political parties appoint the other panelists.
So in the beginning, political
it is a multi-sectoral appointment.
haikuwa na say, and that was what Raila Odinga and members of other political parties were fighting to be part of. Hata niliona Sifuna was doing media tours akisema because political parties are the major players kwa hii vitu, so they are supposed to be part of it. Given, yeah, but they were not supposed to be there at first. So after hapo hivyo inaenda kwa parliament, and then parliament shortlists the people who are qualified, and then now kama wamesha shortlisted wamekuwa vetted, then president anakuja mwisho ana appoint tu.
Out of how many?
Sasa yao watatu sasa anachagua sasa.
Mbona anapewa watatu?
But now
if Joaquim, before you come in,
let's use the latest example. Who are members of the panel? Adam Olo. Adam Zolo is who? Was an advisor to the president.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you look at the panel of the people appointing and getting these applicants, you see the hand of government.
Because formation of a selection panel.
Yes.
The president constitutes a selection panel within a set period under the 2024 amendment. Somebody interfered already.
Yeah.
In 2024.
Some countries.
Right? Let me just a minute. The panel has 9 members drawn from nominating bodies, the Parliamentary Service Commission, 2 women and 2 men, the Political Parties Liaison Committee, 1 member each from the majority party, minority party, and other parties, the Law Society of Kenya, and the Interreligious Council of Kenya. This broadened comparison was a NADCO concession meant to give the opposition and civil society a real stake in the process. But why is the president here?
That's the question.
Why is the president here?
Some countries have legislated themselves out of this problem.
Okay.
If you look at Canada, if you look at Mexico, if you look at Montenegro and Costa Rica, in these countries I've mentioned, the legislature chooses the election leaders, not the president. They have they have severed ties from the executive appointing authority, and they have vested this power with the legislature. But then, kiasi tu Joaquim, if you come to the country we have, let's now be optimistic, ama patriotic enough to say Kenya is a good country. We have MPs in parliament that are kowtowing to the executive. MPs who are at the beck and call of the president. So even if we vested this power with the current members of parliament, we'll still have shot ourselves in the foot. So I don't know. Is it even possible to legislate yourself out of bad governance if we have that law that gives the legislature the authority and the mandate to choose our election commission, and then that parliament is serving the interest of the executive? Have we even solved anything?
That is the problem. And the forwarding names to the president is actually 2 names that are forwarded to the president. Why is the president given 2 names?
Why is he even the one to ratify?
Yes. Because I remember there is something that happens at the judiciary where he's presented with names and he has to appoint all of them.
Yes. Appointment of judges. So you can have your surrogates.
Yeah, are you going to give the time to Vash to finish her thought?
Vash must speak.
Vash, and I have to warn you that when you are with this Mulama guy and with Joaquim, you have to fight for your space. I'm not going to fight for you until the end of time.
This is what I say. And it applies everywhere.
Okay.
That in most cases you have to elbow your way in and out.
Joaquim, I think you are the most difficult.
Oh, how?
But you see, I have ever experienced on a panel. You are the most difficult.
But I train hard to be.
But you are the host.
But he embodies what politics is. Politics is a competition.
But we are not competing here. He's the host. That's why. I'm just respecting the laws of turn taking.
I have been on podcasts where turn taking happens. I get so bored. A podcast where you agree
looks
on
like
everything.
Robots.
A two-term guy agrees with a one-term guy. And
people are very amenable, sipping tea and laughing all the time.
What do you think could be the reason?
All right, Kenya National Infrastructure Fund and its board. We are going to be talking about the fund, the people, risk and guidance, and the deliverables.
Yes.
So the mobilization target is within 10 years, targeting 5.5 trillion. From KPC, 65% of sale, 103 billion. We have Safaricom 244 billion. We have board members gazetted on 8th July 2026.
So in total, we have how much there?
We have a lot. Okay.
100 and...
yes. Okay.
244 billion. Plus what? Plus...
104 billion.
Around 345.
Around 344.
Billion.
Now, for the people of the internet, the National Infrastructure Fund, which is also called NIF, very close to NHIF, is Act number 4 of 2026, signed by President Ruto on 9th March 2026. Correct? Is a state-owned limited liability investment. All right? So there are things that are happening here that I want us to look at. Okay? Because we have the board, which is independent. We have this is the board that is coming largely from the private sector. We have James Moria Murigi, CEO and MD Centum Investment since December 2008. That's a long time. That's too long.
Centum was Chris Kirubi's company. It has shares in Two Rivers, and, in specific real estate
but
companies.
Why would somebody be a CEO from 2008 to today?
He's
the only person.
Is he not a good CEO?
Mwirigi.
What
James
do you mean?
Moria.
James Moria.
And then our research says that there's a lot of conflict of interest, direct and material. We have Fahmina Ali Ahmed Zain. Do you have those people? Yeah, please put them up as we talk about them. That is the ex-CIO. So, looking at her sheet of controversy, no sanctions found, one civil listing, she's supposed to be treated with a lot of caution. We have Christopher Kibui Maranga, Regional Director, Acumen East Africa, clean. No. Latoya Ouma, no biography provided by the Kenyan press, identity unconfirmed, right? So that is somebody that we do not know really, and we don't know where Ruto is bringing up from, but people of the internet...
So who is choosing these people?
These people have been chosen by Ruto, correct?
The board of directors is chosen by the governing council. The governing council is Ruto's poster council. It is composed of John Mbadi, Kamau Thuge, Dorcas Oduor, the AG, Benedict Orama, former president Afri Exim Bank, Faith Boynet, Paul Russo, and Richard Etemes.
Why are you looking like that when you hear the name?
So I am disappointed.
Because I know these people.
I'm disappointed that this...
See, you look at the names and you know the outcome.
So we have John Mbadi, okay? Treasury is council chairperson, all right? Kamau Thuge was charged in 2009. The charge was withdrawn in January 2021. Withdrawn.
And you need to mention he was charged in relation to the Aurora and Kimwarer scandal.
Okay.
Before that, he was PS for finance.
For PS for finance. He was directly involved in the Eurobond.
In the Eurobond.
Scandal.
Yes.
All right? We have Dorcas Oduor, Attorney General statutory member. Clean, public record. We have Benedict Orama, former president, chairman, Afri Exim Bank. Okay? We have Faith Boynet, KPC, board chairperson, privatization commission. All right? Conflict of interest is there. On the council. Then we have Paul Russo, KCB Group CEO since 2022. We have Richard Etemesi, chairperson, Liberty Kenya Holdings. The only person that is worrying here, if you go back to the board, is James Moria Murigi. All right? And she comes from... Do you want to tell us about James Moria Murigi?
Well, allegations are that Ruto now...
Okay.
And CDN Bank has an arrangement with the Nairobi City County. And there was that other accusation that CDN Bank is now the official banker for the government. And given that he's their CEO, I would understand why he was chosen for this job. I know who he's going to represent in this board of directors. He's also served as the head of Two Rivers, that has in which Centum has invested in. He's also served as a CEO of Longhorn Publishers. Na scandal ya vitabu tunaijua vizuri. So he does not have a good history, if you'd ask me. Probably profession-wise, as in regards to management, he may be a good manager. But then there is more to this thing than management. How about your character? How about your integrity? How about who you are representing? If you are a puppet for that guy, then why would we trust you with our investment? Why should we trust you with our funds? Yes, why should we trust you with our funds?
Do we have names on the pictures? So why are we showing the pictures? So Frank, you're letting us down. But anyway, go ahead.
So I think if you'd ask me, Moria is representing the interests of the chicken seller. And that is troubling for me. Because if he already has his own man inside...
Who is the chicken seller?
Oh, the one who rose from selling eggs and chicken to president.
Okay.
So if he already has his man in the inside or on the inside of this National Infrastructure Fund, why should I as a Kenyan trust it? Why should I invest my money in it? And why should I, in the wildest of terms, imagine that anything good is going to come off from this?
Vashti, what do you think?
It seems they already have pictured how the end should look like. The Evan we're being sold, the Singapore we're being sold. Now, washajua, we start from here. They are backtracking actually.
Okay.
This is the end goal. Lakini, hapa katikati tunafanya kipindi so that Kenyans believe that this process is credible, that this infrastructure fund is legitimate, and that it is going to transform Kenya into the Singapore they want.
Do you think that this is a heist? Because you are defining it as if it is a heist from...
Can I just say something that he has not said? Moria, we have said he's the CEO of Centum, and Centum is an investment bank, and they invest in infrastructure that NIF is going to be investing in.
Conflict of interest.
Yeah, so that's where the conflict of interest.
What do they invest in?
Infrastructure like roads, is of vitu tu. Investment bank was na invest in different things. So kama hii INF, we say it's our investment bank as a country. It's going to invest in commercially...
Let's say it's going to build Ronnie Mao Summit Road.
Yes,
okay.
Commercially viable projects, not just any project.
Okay.
So if kutakuwa na procurement, you Jagero, you want to invest, Centum inataka to invest in a particular project, and the INF inataka to invest in that particular project too. So if Moria is the CEO of Centum and he is also in this governing council, board ya NIF, inakuja na conflict of interest because he is going to promote the interest of his own company, hata promote the interest of NIF.
And this Moria, what is his role at Sidian Bank?
He knows.
What is his role as
He's the chairman of the board of directors.
He's the chairman of the board of directors?
Yes. So, further conflict of interest. And I'm wondering, because I've not understood, and members of the public can guide my understanding. This development that we'll be doing, have we had a distinction that this development shall be funded by taxpayers directly from the consolidated fund, and this one shall be funded by the National Infrastructure Fund? So how do we distinguish the two? Or are we going to stop funding development using taxes from our budget and say, no, the money we have in our budget using our taxes shall not be doing development?
But if I am speaking from Safina headquarters, I would say that there will be no money from our taxes for development because it's going to debt, all of it.
Yes.
So then you don't even need to worry
so
about having any there.
Then it means we are circumventing something.
The law.
We are circumventing the process, because you know that the money that shall go to the consolidated fund, the first charge is payment of loan interest. So you will not have any for development. So you circumvent that. You reintroduce another route for the money to go elsewhere. Because why are we running two budgets? Because I want to understand that thing. And this infrastructure and sovereign wealth fund, it looks so good. In a country where 22 million Kenyans cannot afford a meal a day. I think our first, even when you look at civilization of the world, civilization began by agrarian revolution. When people wanted to grow food fast, before we grew into an industrial revolution. So why do we want to become industrial before we have actually cured the very basics? Because
so the idea of this NIF is, I'm just speaking the facts of what Mbadi and the government is saying. When the government, this current government came into power, they found a lot of debt. And so that they can be creative to reduce debt, NIF is one of the ways to reduce debt in our country. So if maybe tunataka kufund hiyo Mau Rironi Summit Road, lazima tuende to borrow that money first so that we can come and build that road. Okay. But now when we have NIF, because NIF kuna hii seed capital yenye tumeweka, and then now there's private investors who have come in to also invest in that money. And I've said they are going
private investor to invest in.
So they are pulling that money kwa hiyo NIF. And then we have said
which investors?
See, wacha nimalize kwanza so that we can ask which investors. So NIF wanaweka private investors wanaweka money hapo hivyo. It's just how investment banking works.
Private investors ni mimi na wewe.
Yes, mimi na wewe.
So we will be loaning government not through the consolidated fund.
No, we are not loaning. We are giving them our money.
In short, we are investing. It's right. We will be loaning government. We will be investing in quotes.
Yeah. So we will be giving them money to invest for us. And so that money
in commercially
viable projects.
So
let's say BRT, you know BRT.
But this is called the National Infrastructure Fund.
Yes. Why are we making it commercial?
And we are selling some stuff that belong to the government and we are putting in there.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So that we can be able to fund our infrastructure development.
Yes.
So when you, as Vash, put money there, what are you getting from it?
So, ndio hiyo wanaenda kuinvest that money. And then now because
what do you mean by investing? I thought they were building.
Yes, you wanna
First, let me ask you.
See, let me finish first.
No, before you
give her time. Give her time. Give her time.
Okay, you take your time.
But I can give you a sentence that will help you answer this question. For example, the expressway.
Okay.
It's a toll highway. That is a commercially viable project if the government was recovering the money from toll fees. So whatever my sister is saying, Val, here is, if you invest in the National Infrastructure Fund as a citizen, and the government builds a toll highway, and the government charges toll fees, whether for 10 years, 30 years or so, the government will be paying you money.
You are still not making sense.
The government will be paying you money.
Pesa. Ujenge a commercially viable project.
Why are they called commercially viable?
Why is it? It's called a National Infrastructure Fund, which means the money used from that fund to build anything should be used free.
No,
that is what I thought.
Yes.
That's what I thought, that when you sell Safaricom and put money in there, which is our money, then from the sale of our Safaricom shares as a country, you build Rironi Mau Summit Road, and the people have to pay for it. It means that you have used my money to build a latrine that I cannot go to.
For a minute, let me hold brief for the government, even though I'm not a government apologist.
Okay.
As a private citizen, you would have no interest in investing in the National Infrastructure Fund unless we juice up the story. We have to entice you with the possibility of recouping your money with some interest, so that this thing makes sense to you. If you're going to invest in a National Infrastructure Fund so as to build a road or a railway project or an airport that will be used for free, for example, a road that will be used for free, where then do you recoup your money as a citizen? So the government has to come with a plan on how the citizens will recoup the money they have invested in the National Infrastructure Fund so as to motivate citizens to loan the government that particular money, in quotes, invest in that National Infrastructure Fund. If you remove the element of an interest, of a monetary gain to the private citizen, then they will have no interest in investing in the National Infrastructure Fund.
We are not lying to them. Kwani ni watu hukufanya research before ukuji?
No. Ngoja.
No, wewe ndio wacha kutusi sisi.
Ngoja. Hii research, where do you get that information? When you are doing research, where do you get it from?
What the government is saying.
So you are going to them to ask you how you are coming to speak here. I'm speaking using my brain.
Yes,
without anything. I'm just wondering. Let me ask you.
Yes.
Before you come in, this National Infrastructure Fund, seed money is money from where?
From
us.
the sale of Safaricom.
The sale of Safaricom, government shares. What does that mean? It means that money is a government revenue.
Yes.
It is our money.
Yes.
So we have put money here in this fund to do projects for us. So when you take money from the National Infrastructure Fund and you build a road for Kenyans, you don't charge them to use it. So the commercial aspect of it is null and void.
Because that's
why I asked you.
Let me use the example.
Are we now scrapping development from the national budget and dedicate it to the National Infrastructure Fund, or what are we going to do with the National Infrastructure Fund?
Can you say what you want to say?
Let me use the example of SGR. Enye party leader wako amekuwa akiongelea for a long time. SGR iliundwa so that goods, commercial goods ikuwe transported from huko Mombasa to this other side of the country, right? But then when SGR came into play, ikaanza kutransport watu, which means that it is not financially commercially viable. So the money that was used in SGR, the debt that was used, haiwezi kuwa recouped easily because now the activities that we are doing haiko commercially. Hairudishi pesa.
It's a loss making.
Can I ask you a question, Vaj? So this is the National Infrastructure Fund is an investment fund.
Yes. Have you ever invested in an investment bank?
You said that we are running away from debt.
Yes.
She said that we are running away from debt. And I want to understand this. So how are we running away from debt if we still intend to do development by people giving us their money? It becomes debt of the national budget. Because let me say, for example, the Maurerone Summit Road. 45% of the project is funded by money from the NSSF, right?
Yes.
So where are we getting the money, the 55% of it?
It's
a private investor.
Yes.
Which means that we have borrowed money to build we have only used our money as the country to fund 45% of the project. That's our commitment sum.
Yes.
And then 55% is loaned money. It's a debt we are taking.
Is it really loaned? They're investing in the project.
It's a loan, but the payment mode is different from the normal ones that we have. The payment mode is the toll fees. It's not like what we get from the...
I don't think you'll call it a loan.
No, what is it? Jagero, you want to build this studio. You have 45%. So let's say you need 10 million, but you can only raise 45% of it. So I come in and give you the 55% that you don't have it. Is it a loan or not? And we build this studio.
Depending on how you, because I might be an owner of the studio when I bring in that money.
No, you are the one owning the studio.
Let me jump into this
conversation. But when if somebody is giving you more than 60% of what is needed, then you no longer own it.
So we do this after the studio comes up.
Yes.
The revenue from the studio, we agree on a sharing formula for a period of time.
Yes.
And after that period of time, I have recouped back my money and the profit I intend to get. So that's the same way the road is being built. So actually we are not actually running away from debt. We are still borrowing.
For sure.
Can I come in?
Yes, please come in.
Let me begin with CDN Bank so that I'm not accused of allegations and dispensing propaganda.
Okay.
The official banker for the national government is supposed to be the Central Bank of Kenya. Well, this seems to be changing. Now, fiscal accountability and fiscal management of national resources seems to be diverted to the CDN Bank at tier 3 commercial lender. You remember when Gachagua mentioned this and people called him a mad person and a propagandist. Now, the Nairobi County government in late 2025 designated CDN Bank as its principal banker. Why would the National County government of Nairobi choose CDN Bank over National Bank and KCB? That's the first question you need to ask yourselves. The county dropped Cooperative Bank and Equity, routing health facilities, revenue collection, and county payroll overdrafts through CDN. State corporations. Now state corporations like Kenya Railways, Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, that's KEMSA, appear to now favor CDN Bank for their deposits, revenue collections, and whatnot. The National Welfare Fund, SHA and the housing levy are also en route to start using CDN Bank. This is unconfirmed, but in this country, rumor is not far from the truth. So why are we moving away from our own national banks to CDN Bank?
See,
unless
you are all coming back from what I'm
owner of the bank controls the interests of this country. And to get back to the conversation, just a minute, Joachim. We have belabored on the funding of the National Infrastructure Fund, but we seem fixated on the infrastructure bond part. Hiyo ndio yenye Wakenya wanatoa pesa kuinvest for commercially viable projects, which I do not support in the first place. But then that money is also supposed to come from the railways maintenance levy, and other dedicated taxes. So I'm not surprised if this government introduces another tax, naitwe National Infrastructure Fund levy.
It's
I would not be surprised, because a levy might be introduced to fund this National Infrastructure Fund if you guys, that is us Kenyans as private citizens, do not subscribe to the infrastructure bond. Kama infrastructure bond imepewa caveat ama limit ama threshold ya kuraise 400 million and you guys, or 400 billion, and you guys don't buy into the infrastructure bond, the government will have to come up with an alternative way to finance the National Infrastructure Bond. As for the other financing mechanism for the National Infrastructure Bond, the government allocations. Where is this government getting money to allocate to this National Infrastructure Fund?
Question.
I will get to your question.
Before you
then we have development partners and PPPs.
No,
I repeat your question.
Asking, have we separated the national budget from doing development?
So the government.
No,
so let me see. It is a law. You know, we can't be saying these things from the headquarters
What
of
law?
Safina.
What law?
We have to read the law.
What a law?
Where the law wins the argument, as you phrased it, Article 206.
Yes.
Cap 1 does not say all money must go into the consolidated fund. It says all money raised or received by the national government goes there, except money that is reasonably excluded by an act of parliament and payable into another public fund established for a specific purpose. So the Constitution itself contemplates funds sitting outside the consolidated fund.
Okay.
Mbadi's answer to your running two budgets is simply Parliament passed an act. The Constitution allow it. Next question.
No.
And Kenya already has dozens of such funds. The Road Maintenance Levy Fund, the Equalization Fund, the Contingencies Fund. This isn't new. Framing it as unprecedented hands them an easy win. Look, listen.
Before you read
where the government argument breaks down, the escape hatch is 206 cap 1 has a wording doing enormous work reasonably. That is the word that should be underlined. And that is the reasonably, that is why you find the Road Maintenance Levy Fund, the Equalization Fund, and the Contingencies Fund. Okay? So that is a justifiable standard, not a blank check. And the question a court must ask is it reasonable to route 345 billion in proceeds from selling public assets, Kenya Pipeline and Safaricom, out of the consolidated fund into a vehicle Parliament does not appropriate?
That's my biggest question.
The NIF Act had to amend Section 54 of the Privatization Act to make that happen. That amendment is the whole ball game. If it were obviously constitutional, they wouldn't have needed it. The precise mechanism you should be thinking about is Article 206 Cap 4, Section 4, I believe that's what it said. Money cannot leave the consolidated fund unless the control of budget approves the withdrawal. Now, you go back to Article 228, Section 4, I don't know whether I'm saying correct, gives her that authorization power over the withdrawals under Articles 204, 206, and 207. The Equalization Fund, the Consolidated Fund, and the County Revenue Funds. Okay? So, her constitutional gatekeeping mandate does not automatically extend to every other fund created under 206, Section 1. Okay, so then there is a loophole. Move money into a 206 fund, and the controller of budget, the official whose entire job is to stop money leaving before it leaves, arguably has no gate to guard.
So I'm asking.
Right. So what remains is the Auditor General's who arrives after the money is spent. So you swap a lock on a door for a photograph of the burglary. You understand that question? So those are the problems that we are having. Now, please allow me to read this part. Now, the part almost nobody is saying, the bigger than the two budget. The Sovereign Fund is a fund. The NIF is a company, a body corporate, a limited liability vehicle. Those are not the same legal animal. When the state puts 100 billion into a fund, it is still public money in a pot.
Yes.
When the state puts it into a company, it becomes share capital. And what the company does with it is governed by company law, not appropriation law.
Yes.
Which raises the question Ndindi Nyoro was circling. Can NIF borrow? Article 214 defines public debt as obligations attendant on loans raised or guaranteed by the national government. If a state-owned company leveraged that 345 billion, the government has openly talked about crowding in, all right, private capital to up to 10 shillings for every shilling. Okay? Do those borrowing appear on the national debt register, or do they sit off balance sheet? Okay? Very difficult questions. And then this is the problem.
Yeah.
And this is why the guy is saying that it is the Kenyans are presented with very technical issues going on.
Yes.
And most of the Kenyans will just let it slide because they don't understand it.
That's why.
But the framers of this thing understand it to the beat.
Jagero, my role on this podcast.
So when we are selling Safaricom and putting into another company.
Yes. A private limited company.
You know the problem I have with Joachim? He has very pertinent questions, very good questions. But who is he asking in this podcast? I'm not bad.
No,
He's
no,
not bad.
This conversation is addressed to the government and to the citizens.
Yes.
They will watch it.
We are not looked ourselves in our room having a discussion.
Yes. Let me finish.
Yes.
When this thing was public participation ilikuwa inafanya. Did you go to that public participation?
So let me ask. Do those public participation carry the views of the people?
So you didn't
I
go.
have attended a dozen of
Did
these
you go
things.
to this one?
I have attended all public participation.
No, I'm asking, did you go to the public?
You go there and they want you to say what they want you to say.
You didn't go to this one.
It has not even been closed. It will be closed on July 15th.
No, NIF. NIF is already a bill.
Skiza.
These so you did not go to the public participation. That's why you seem to not know.
They know where they are going. And they know where they want. They know how to get there.
How do I know that there is a public participation somewhere, Vash?
Even if you did know where the public participation is.
No, but how do I know?
Even if you did know and you attended and you voted no to the National Infrastructure Fund and you took time to write your reservations about the National Infrastructure Fund, when you leave that hall, that memorandum of yours will be torn to pieces. And they will not care about any adverse opinion.
Can you
because
for us
they are working towards a certain
that
goal.
Has yielded anything?
Yes, they are working towards a predetermined goal.
And it worked.
Yeah, and your views are in law somewhere. Tell us, Vash. you are so clever. Tell us.
Very clever.
I have seen your silent admirer called DJ Riggs here. It's so mad that you are not speaking. Anaitwa hapa tena Taabu Okanda.
Anasema msichana ongei.
Mtu anaitwa Taabu kabisa.
Sasa mimi nashangaa wanaume siku hizi wako na past nyingine mbaya sana.
So Jagero,
Anataka maji.
My role on this podcast is to keep things as ordinary as possible. I don't want Kenyans to get lost into the technical jargon. So I want to understand these things in a layman's way of understanding. That's why I'm asking obvious questions. That when you put money in the National Infrastructure Fund, what are the balance and checks? How are we sure that things will work? Or are we just supposed to trust those people in charge of that fund that they will do a good job? Is Parliament responsible of allocating money in a National Infrastructure Fund? No. Because it's under company law. Now, even the Auditor General cannot ask them a question. The control of budget cannot approve withdrawals. Ama inaitwa drawings in business.
Withdraw.
No. In business inaitwa drawings. Sasa,
What is a drawing?
withdrawal is a biological term. Walai.
Yeah. Wananyoa pesa.
Sasa, this is where the problem
They
is.
refer to them as disbursements.
Well, this is why I'm asking. What are the checks and balances? How are we sure? How do we audit the operations of this fund? How are we sure that our money is going to work? What are we circumventing?
Yesterday when we were...
You see, now Joachim is asking better questions. After you have read, he has now understood what we are talking
In
about.
fact, we have those questions here, and I've
No,
shared
I'm
these
saying
questions
he's now
with
asking good
Joachim.
questions.
No, you are maligning Joachim. You are maligning Joachim.
So she wants me to think the way she thinks. I think the way I want. So,
that is the quote of the week.
Sasa, these questions that we are asking, where are we taking our money to? Because someone didn't just show up with money and put it in the national.
For me, the problem that I keep having with the way government is doing these things, there is a lot of a hurry. You know, put up this law, put up this fund, put up this law. But if you look at the house itself, it is suffering debt-wise. It is having a lot of fiscal problems.
Yeah.
But there are so many things going on.
Coming out. A lot of baskets.
Yeah. Yes.
Let me get to this conversation.
Okay.
This National Infrastructure Fund Act or Bill was fronted by Kimani Ichung'wah.
Yes.
When you hear the name Kimani Ichung'wah, you know
the person who has sent him.
And well, it moved through Parliament. You know the Parliament we have is already
They don't
captured.
allow debate.
You know it had to go through
It is the
either
same
way.
Kimani Ichung'wah who speaks for 1 hour. Then this guy from Kisii is called who? This guy.
Osoro.
Osoro speaks for another 15 minutes.
And they close the chapter.
And then they put the question, and then it sails through. Because some of these members of
And
Parliament...
Ndini Nyoro will not be there to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me get back to the conversation.
You will vote in the
So starting with the inception of the idea and whoever is introducing the idea, you already see some foul game from the beginning. If it was being introduced by an opposition member of Parliament, I can assure you, as sure as today is Thursday, that bill will not sail through. However good, however brilliant, however game-changing it is. But because the government wants its bill, the government gets what it wants. Unfortunately, this should not be the situation we have in this country. Parliament was supposed to check and balance power, and it was supposed to be the last resort for the Kenyan people, our representation. That has not happened since, I think, 2022 and probably before that. And as I get to my criticism about the National Infrastructure Fund, you've mentioned it operates largely outside the consolidated fund. That goes without question that this fund will not be audited by the Auditor General. If it sits outside the consolidated fund, there is a possibility that the control of budget will not be in a position to safeguard our resources in the National Infrastructure Fund because she has been bypassed. The control of budget has been bypassed. So we no longer need our approval to spend money belonging to the public. Then what would stop the government from spending on fishy projects? And then who audits these fishy projects? Then the Parliament's oversight role has also been weakened in the National Infrastructure Fund Act. You remember, I said this fund was introduced by who? For what interest? Now, you have to bear in mind that they have an end goal in sight. This National Infrastructure Fund centralizes enormous financial power to the president. Remember, we introduced devolution so as to trickle down funds and revenue from the national government to counties and to the lower tiers of government. Now, William Ruto and his MPs are granting themselves enormous financial power, and they are consolidating executive power and authority over our funds. Kwa National Infrastructure Fund, hakuna devolution. Then, as you get to the core of this bill, you realize, as you've mentioned, it is a company. Why is it a company? Why is it a limited one? Under the laws of companies, a company is a different entity from its shareholders and from its owners. So if you have, say, you are at loggerheads with, say, for example, Safaricom as a public limited company, you would not sue the CEO. You would sue the company. So the CEO sits out of blame. If you look at the layout of the consolidated fund, this money trickles down to ministries and to county governments. We have been able to prosecute cases in court of governors who've stolen our resources, MPs who've misused CDF, and so on, because the consolidated fund is not a company. So if you come up with a new special purpose vehicle that is a company, that limits you from suing the shareholders and the owners of that company, or the ones who run the resources or manage the resources in that company, then you've given them immunity, the same kind of immunity you've given to France and to Batuk soldiers. I wouldn't want that for my country. And as I wind up, I am concerned that the National Infrastructure Fund may be a tool for campaign in 2027. This may be a slush fund for campaigns. And given that we've never executed or implemented our laws on spending limits for various leadership positions, be it an MP, be it the political party's spending limit, as well as the executive's spending limit for the presidency and so on, I think the president might have a lot of money at his disposal to spend in the coming campaigns. After all, who will audit how that money is used? The Auditor General sits outside the National Infrastructure Fund. And there is another concern about the investment in commercially viable projects. To a private investor who buys infrastructure bonds that finance the National Infrastructure Fund, a hospital, a school, a water system, an irrigation project might not be commercially viable to them. And now that they become shareholders, because they have bought infrastructure bonds in the National Infrastructure Fund, would they, as private citizens, want to invest in services or provide services the government provides for free? Would they want to build roads, railways, and ports that will be used by the common citizen for free? Would they want? This
is the question I was asking Vashti.
I don't think they would be interested in that.
Because when we are trying to deal with a bridge,
when you build Nethe Bridge, how commercially viable is it?
The same concerns you guys have is the same concerns I have as a citizen of this country. See, ati mimi natetea government or something.
Yeah, Ruto, your President Ruto and
our President Ruto. I just wanted all of us to first, you know, kuna facts.
Demarcate yourself within that area.
Ruto is the President of Kenya. Fact, Vashti is a citizen of Kenya.
You see,
Joaquim is a citizen of Kenya.
Hello. Don't force me to be under an authority that I'm not.
So, as I was saying, the same concerns that you guys have. Is the one.
Joaquim does not live in Kenya, and Kenya does not have William Ruto as president.
Yes,
but I believe we have a trust issue in our country. Mm-hmm. A lot of trust issues. Everything that the government does is we take it with a bit of suspicion. Not even a bit, a lot of suspicion. But
would you blame us, given the history of whoever is leading this country?
We cannot be blamed because the government does a lot of fishy and shady stuff. And you have talked about it being a company. I think when Mbadi was answering these questions, they were talking about bureaucracy. You know, when it is in government, there's a lot of bureaucracy. It's going to be more efficient when it's a limited company. But I also have some concerns on that. Why can't they just make everything efficient on the government side? You mambo ya bureaucracy yache. So the same concerns you guys have, I also have.
So Sahi, imagine if you are in Homa Bay and you want to make a road that crosses over water all the way to the other side of Siaya. I don't know how long it is, but it's a very short one. Currently, that carry people from that place. But most people actually will take the 3-hour journey to Kisumu by road.
Yes.
If you make a road on that water to the other side of Kisumu, it will cut it by more than 3/4. That is a seriously viable project.
Yes.
All right, and they might decide that for motorists who want to do that 30 minutes, will have to pay 3,000.
Which that means we don't need this thing.
But then we also have Safaricom money in that fund.
Yes. And what if again?
And Vash is not done with selling some of them. Vash is not done with selling of what we need to sell to put in that thing. We are not done with selling what we need to sell. And I think that also the problem that we are having with this government is that why are we having the CEO of Centum being involved here? Somebody that is very controversial.
You see,
if he was
things.
a truthful man, inafa recuse himself from the position. Si bado hajaanza, but just announced the
Do you think they have told him? Do you think they're announcing before he's told?
If he's someone of good character, inafa recuse.
But how is he a good character? And this is the
You
CEO of
can't be a
Centum.
person of good character in these things. All these people have been involved in very serious issues. And this is a very good candidate for a very big scandal. A very big scandal.
And yesterday, Mr. Benjindolo said that it has come to a point where the government had no legitimacy to do anything. Because everybody looking at a move and is saying, "Ai, sasa huyu jamani memwona akienda east, kuna nini inatobolewa huko?" You know, wakienda unaenda west unasema, "Hey, na kuna kitu wamesikia huko, fununu, kuna harufu wamesikia huko." Either they are running away from a rotten egg, or they are going towards an egg that has been laid.
Yes.
Apart from the parastatols that have already been sold, the 2 of them, let me list the others that are supposed to be sold.
Okay.
Or they are using some flowery language. The Privatization Authority targets to partially divest. That is just selling.
Divest.
Yes.
Divesting is relinquishing.
It's clothed in economic language. One, KICC.
Yeah.
So the government is unable to manage KICC to give us some good revenue.
There is something.
So it wants to sell
there is
KICC.
something very interesting about KICC, by the way. The first time I went to South Africa, I realized that most of these countries have got a tourism authority, sort of. So that when you want to go, for example, to South Africa and you want to get the best conferencing facility, you'll go to that body.
Yes.
And that body, Rwanda, I think, has got what is it called? Kenya Rwanda Authority? No, RDB, Rwanda Development Authority. I think they have something like that.
We have ours, Kenya Tourism Board.
Yes, but would you know what the function
Who is
of
the-
why
who
is
is the
KICC
head
called
of-
parastatal?
The CEO of Kenya Tourism Board.
Why is KICC called a parastatal? Do you know why? Because it is the gateway to most of our conferencing facility in this country. But the problem with KICC is that they are also a conferencing facility. So they have got a direct conflict of interest. So when you come to them, they will tell you they will not talk about another conferencing facility.
Yeah, no.
So perhaps that is why the government is saying, okay, now they want to sell it.
They also want to sell the National Oil Corporation of Kenya. Easy petrol stations, the National Oil, their infrastructure, their lorries, their storage tanks, their pipeline, gone. They also want to sell the National Kenya Cooperative Creameries.
Hiyo inauza maziwa.
Yes. They also want to sell the Kenya Seed Company Limited. They want to sell Kenya Literature Bureau, hii ya vitabu. They want to sell Rivertext East Africa Limited, ile ya kuunda manguo yenye Uhuru aliwekelea pesa huko. So the government comes up with a company, a good one, to try and revolutionize how our textile industry and invest our own funds in Rivertex. Then another president now sells Rivertex to
And puts
himself
money
or
in
his
a
own
private
shareholders.
company.
His own shareholders. They want to sell Numerical Machining Complex, Kenya Vehicle Manufacturers Limited, Moya Rice Mills Limited, Western Kenya Rice Mills Limited, Consolidated Bank of Kenya,
But some of
Development
those things
Bank
are
of Kenya.
moribund. So what exactly are they selling?
Yeah. How do you sell?
Land.
Like, yes, these are land grabs.
Land and the assets.
What an assets? Land. That is why.
Because some of these things are not working.
That's why Ruto alisema ule jamaa wa anaitwa nani? Rai.
Mambo ni matatu.
Because like Nzoia Sugar, what's the size of its nuclear estate? 26,000 acres. So when you access Nzoia Sugar, you have access to 26,000 acres. So when you are selling Western rice mills, hiyo kwanza iko wapi? It's the land that they want. Because it does not work. So you sell land that is national, because that thing is a national asset. Then you put money in a private company like this one. Then you ask me to invest in it to build commercially viable projects.
So
and every company has a owner.
When you want to build a water pan in Busia for people of Busia to use it for free, then that is not commercially viable.
So Mr. Aki.
So we can't build it.
Na mimi ndo mwenyewe kampuni.
You see? So everything that is commercially viable, so they can identify somewhere, then build a mall, a hotel, a resort, something that can recoup in money.
Si walijenga hoteli kwa msitu huko sawa.
Then how come?
Nani? Hiyo immigration.
Yeah. Walijenga hoteli huko kwa msitu
So
sawa.
what about the road that connects Bungoma to Kakamega through Ingotse? Then that is not commercially viable because people of Ingotse
so
want
they
to
will
use
shy away from that.
Yeah, they will not build it. But how did we fund this thing? By using public money.
Lakini ukina vast wataleta pesa yao kwa mfuko waweke hapo waseme Ingotse road sasa itatusaidia aje? Hiyo board kata.
That's a village.
Yeah, board kata. Right?
You know me, I was just explaining the facts of the situation. Now I'm defending the government. But what you are saying?
Attack. Attack, inject.
I also have the same concern because hii mambo ya commercially viable kama hiyo SGR it started as a commercially viable infrastructure, but along the way because of corruption and bribery and greed it became something else. So even in this fund they might have something that is commercially viable, but because of greed iende ikwe kitu ingine.
Do you know how much SGR makes in a year?
I don't know.
Close to 45 billion. Do you know how much it consumes per year in operations? 60 billion. So it's a consistent loss-making entity of more than 10 billion every year.
They make a loss of how much every year?
10 billion. It cannot pay for itself. It does not give us any economic sense. It's a good trolley for Chinese kuleta mitumba zao kutoka hapa Mombasa kuleta in Nairobi.
Dumping plastics.
This thing called National Infrastructure Fund will be the exact same thing. Because when you look at the names of the people involved, you know.
You said SGR makes how much?
45.
They actually make less. 21 billion.
Oh my goodness. Then check the operations and maintenance.
It is more than that.
Yeah, a lot.
Well, I don't know. Operating expenses, 18 billion and some others.
No.
Loan interest, 25 billion. So yes, it's double.
Huh?
Repaying the loan, the interest, and the operating expenses is double of what they make.
It's double of what they make.
Yes.
So
there's no surplus.
Yeah, so what we are looking at, I think William Ruto had to become president. It's God's plan. There is no way we could have stopped it. So that we can see for ourselves what greed can do to a country. And we are seeing, the guy is a rustler, he's rustling everything. By the time you see, it's an episode of Moi Part 2. When Kenyatta was leading the country and he was grabbing things here and there, Moi came and said Nyayo. Nyayo is following the footsteps of your predecessor. People didn't understand.
By the way, have you guys realized that the word Harambe is back?
Yeah.
Why is it back, Mr. Mulamba?
It was introduced by Gachagua, who has been mentored by Daniel Arap Moi. And Moi said Kanu would rule Kenya for 100 years. I am not surprised.
And the fundraisers that used to be Harambe are also back.
It's actually anger.
I saw a video of Mudavadi giving 10,000 to Moi in 1990.
And CDF and devolution was supposed to kill that. CDF and devolution was supposed to kill that. It seems the bad manners is back.
It's not the bad manners. We made the same mistake. You see, history doesn't repeat itself. People make the same mistakes. Kenyatta 1 and Kenyatta, what is now becoming, because his brother has the ability to do it on a bigger scale. Now
the dynamic brother.
Yes, William.
Who are helped by
Let me give you, that is why when I say that we are making a very big mistake, thinking of a second term for this guy. A second term is going to be disastrous. Sahi kuna vitu anafanya with some restraint because he needs to appease you for a second term. So when he gets a second term, what does he have to fear? He's not coming back. He doesn't need your vote. But he has made some people to believe that it's now finally their time to eat. There is a day, Mokhesa Kituyu was on TV, and he said something that made me think about it so much. There's a country in the Middle East. Is it in the Middle East? That
What's the
needed
name of the country?
For English from here.
Was
2,000 teachers.
Was it not the USA?
No. It's not USA.
Okay.
Do you know how?
Was it Thailand?
They said in the
Let me
East.
look that up.
I think it was Thailand.
Do you know who are the people that were taken there?
No.
They were all completely Kalenjins. Kalenjin.
Wasn't it Australia?
Could be Australia.
Yes.
It was Australia.
If it's Australia, they took 2,000. Wote. It's either you are a keep or a chip. And then they have made our brothers from Nyanza to believe they are so much in government. That's why I call them the human shield for William Ruto's government.
Who? Sisi?
Yes. I tried to have a conversation with a few brothers from Nyanza yesterday. Have you ever seen someone who has made a decision not to understand you?
Agun.
No, he understands, he's a professor. But he has decided with this one, no. I will not understand this gentleman. I have to support William Ruto so much that you people feel the pain we have felt.
I'm punishing you guys.
Okay, let me assume that's true. Moi came into power for 24 years. And he stepped on the neck of Kikuyus very well. The only Kikuyu who could enjoy government was J.J. Kamotho. But for 24 years, these people were still on top of the game economically. So tell me what you are doing differently, away from victim mentality, that can either make you catch up or close in on the economic status of where you come from. Because where I come from, for example, is Bungoma County. I have told you a road from Ingozi to Bungoma County is a very bad road. So what do I do to make sure that this road can be built? When you look at the people in parliament, people who are eloquent in discussing issues are people from where I come from, Western and Nyanza. But when you look at where resources are seen, it's the opposite direction, where we accuse them of electing Wamasukuru, Wamatinga, Wamatangi. But they
Wamatinga.
Yes. They are in parliament with who? Kaluma, who is a maritime lawyer or something like that. That you cannot discuss maritime law without Kaluma's input. When it comes to eloquence, bravado and braggadocio, it's our people who takes the center stage. But when it comes to building a road, all of a sudden Kikuyus have not let us do that. When it comes to a machine or an invested plant, all of a sudden a Kikuyu did not allow us to do that. When Dede Nyoro builds Cabros, it's because his budget chair. But when you give it to Atandi, he's reported in the newspaper that he's going to meetings with a girlfriend. Then we blame other people for our underdevelopment. Okay, let's say Dede Nyoro was using his privilege as the chair of the budget committee to build Cabros. But now Atandi has taken that privilege to take his girlfriend to Dubai nearly every week. So who is doing better?
How about the governor from Moranga, who is prudently managing the resources he gets from the national government?
So
how about the governors from Western and Nyanza and the rest of the
So
country?
when you come to me as Kenneth Lusaka from Bungoma, and you are telling me you want William Ruto to come back for a second term, so I look at you as Kenneth Lusaka. What have you done yourself for me to believe that the person you want to come for a second term
is as
good as you are? I remember wewe umekula hapa pesa ya kiwanja ya ndege.
Wheelbarrows
wewe ndo
electronic, za 7
ulinunua
million.
Non-gasogenic wheelbarrow ya 100,000. So I wonder. And then we have become very good in apportioning blame to other people. When Sugar Belt came under attack, what happened to our members of parliament who knew that their people's livelihood depends on that crop called a sugarcane? When you say that Uhuru Kenyatta introduced taxes and made sugarcane the most taxed crop, where were the people from that particular area? Who made noise? No one. So what are you taking advantage of as Uhuru Kenyatta?
The silence.
The sheep-like character from these people from Western Kenya and Nyanza. Wenye wanakufa kikondo bila kupiga kelele. And then later on they become victims and say, you see, our Kikuyus, they are so much entitled. What do you want a person who has billions to feel like? They should be entitled. But by the way, you are a billionaire. We have to think about ourselves. No one will think on our behalf.
So Vash, you're just going to be quiet as this guy ravages through Luoland and Luyaland.
Hey!
Nikiongea mtasema na bully Joakim.
Nani anasema?
Please bully him.
Bully me. Kuna mtu hapa anasema ati Joakim playing the tribal card. This is another fool. This one. When I say that I am from Bungoma. I am a Luya. And I am saying we have done not enough for ourselves. How is that tribal?
I think Joakim has a lot of internalized self-hatred for himself.
No. It's not self-hatred.
I think he's just saying the truth, how he sees it. Problem is he has localized it to where he comes
so developed. But where are the Kisii people? When you go to the US, they have an estate because they know how to work for themselves. They can promote each other.
Please also include our Kamba useless MPs in that discussion.
Wajaluo na Waluya tumejaa wapi? Hapa. Kawangware na wapi kwingine?
So you are saying hakuna Mkikuyu mwenye ako hapo hivyo?
No, I am saying in terms of numbers.
What is Vash disagreeing with?
Okay, Akikuyu who is in Kibera is doing what in Kibera?
Let me ask Vash. Vash, what is this self-hatred that you're accusing Joakim of?
Joakim always speaks very ill of his people.
Yes,
but he has also mentioned Atandi. Atandi is a Luo.
Don't nasema he speaks so ill of his people and people from Nyanza all the time. This is not the first time that he is doing that. Iko siku ulikuwa unasema
But all politics is local. He is using his own example.
Let her land. I'm really waiting for her to land. I mean, So is it factual or non-factual?
What is factual?
What he's saying.
Have we done
That the Luo MPs and the Luo leaders and the Luo leaders and the Luo MPs have not done enough from where they're coming from. Is that factual or self-hate?
I approach things from a very nuanced perspective.
Okay, what is your nuance?
Hakuna righteousness na unrighteousness to me. There's always nuance in everything. For example, when devolution haikukua, us from Trans Nzoia, I come from Trans Nzoia County, tulikuwa in a very bad state. But after devolution, even though our governor still, our MPs are thieves, you can see the roads. Ukienda huko kwetu saizi, kuna good roads actually. Kuna good hospitals. Kuna hizo infrastructure are there right now. So you cannot say that they have stolen everything from our land. Even the road from Trans Nzoia to Kisumu. Kitambo haikukua.
We should forgive
but
them.
Right now, no, I'm not saying that we should forgive
for not
them.
stealing everything.
I'm just saying that you speaking like that, it seems like we are the only stupid people in this land, and we are not.
No, the reason why I talk about that is because of the potential we have. We cannot be dominating intellectual debates but doing nothing in terms of the resources. For
or you are
for me, first, if you asked me, I would not go as far as saying that it is self-hate. And I think that a lot of people ask me why I have never liked Raila Odinga in my life since I became of age. It's simply because of what Joachim is saying. Because we have lived in a part of the world where doing work and putting in effort does not count in Luo Nyanza. It does not count. For the last time, Raila ruled us for about 30 years as the de facto.
But was Raila the government?
No.
Let him land.
You know the power that guy wielded.
Let him land.
No, I'm getting.
Yes.
I'm also listening to that point.
Yes, and I'm telling you that for the last several years, since I think Raila's father died in 1994, right? And then Raila Odinga would come out and put and do a stab at the presidency in 1997, right? And thereafter he galvanized the entire Luo nation to himself. And even at the fall of at the end of the 90s, going into the 2000s, he's the one who again galvanizes the entire country in 2002 elections. And actually, Raila's real power pops out. And Raila's real gusto and the enigma name comes after the 2002, where people believe, and Kenyans still believe, that is the one who made Kibaki the president. The power that Raila exercised then, became so abundant in Luo land, to the extent that in Luo land, you are not going to be any leader unless the sign-off is by Raila Amolo Odinga himself. Now, people do not understand what that means to development and for the people that come from that area. It means that once Raila has loved you and has told the people that this is the man that is going to help me work and remove any stumbling block, because the Luos have always believed, in my estimation, that until they become the ruling people in this country, then there will be no development going down there.
But can you
just a moment, Vash. So that what that has done, the fact that every Vash, every Joachim, every Mulamba that believes that they are close enough to Raila Odinga, they will not do anything to their people except appease the man that put them there. So the lack of development that has happened in Luo Nyanza is as a direct relationship to the fact that the people that are coming out of Luo land to be leaders, they do not care about the development.
Can you say that because of centralization of power before the 2010 constitution, people who are in opposition hawakuwa wanapata any resources because of that?
Look, I am not going to say that is not true.
So it is true.
That is a fact.
Yes.
All right. But that fact, there is a place it stops. All right? Because, for example, right now, look at the governors in Luo Nyanza.
And that is the
Can you look at the governors of Luo Nyanza? Start with Orengo, who is so loved in Leader Mwananchi, you know, as the man who can climb onto bikes in the middle of a Gen Z protest, and look at his track record in Siaya. He's a man who does not even sleep in that place. The guy was in Kisii. On Sunday, he's in Nairobi. He's in court. Then he's in Olkalau.
Let me say, I'm trying to...
Look at the Migori governor.
Kitu yenye najaribu kusema.
Right now, it's been called Sinakuru. Do you know the reason why? Sinakuru Kukulubanga. Dogman. Do you know why he's called that, Vashti? I have not spoken. So let me speak for a little bit before you jump in. They believe that he's a man who limps, who does not go do any work. He's always limping and not doing any work. You go past Migori and you go to Nyasunawanga. She's all over this country gallivanting with ODM. No track record.
So
you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Oyundi is the same man. Oyundi is the same man. So Oyundi is this little bird that does not do anything. All right? So the problem that is happening is, and I understand Joachim from a point of experience, is that these people have never had respect
for their
own people. If you look at Ndidi Nyoro, he goes to schools and builds them. All right? Our people are speaking very good English.
Can I say before you come in, Joachim, am I angry that we are not as developed as the rest of maybe Mount Kenya? I am angry about that. But when we are talking about these issues, there is nuance to it. Luo Nyanza has been in opposition for a long time. And it is true, before the 2010 constitution, the presidency, kulikuwa na centralization of power, where the president alikuwa anaamua mali resources zitaenda. Alikuwa anasimama kwa njia anasema resources zitaenda huku hivi kwingine. Those people who are in opposition hawakuwa wanapata the same.
First, how old were you?
Let me continue before you bring in my age.
No, let me ask you. When was CDF introduced?
2003.
How old were you? Just tell me the truth. How old were you at 2002?
I don't know. I was 1 year old.
So
that's why here in this room,
because I'm
having been 3 years old when CDF was
never
introduced,
seen development from my
and later on in your adult age, you are talking about what Moi did.
So because I was not grown up.
Let me ask you.
She's confirming the MPs have not done enough.
Yes.
But yes, they have not done enough. But there is
no, they have not done anything. Whatever enough. Look at how people campaign. Where
But I still want to ask
before you.
No.
Because you will give her.
Please, you guys stop bullying Val.
No.
Nikaacha ukaongea.
See, I don't want people who sit at the fence at attacking to oppose pande hii ama pande hii.
But then first I'm going to leave this mic to you immediately after I say this. When did we devolve?
2013. How much money has gone to Bungoma County for 13 years?
Do you know in Orengo has been receiving 9 billion every year? Show me anything in Siaya he has done with that money. Nyong'o has been sweeping Oginga Odinga Street.
Yes.
The street that is named after his friend Raila Odinga. And calling Kisumu Europe.
Yeah.
While he's just doing literally nothing. If you go to Manyata, Vumbi. If you go to Obonga,
let me ask
Vumbi.
you, when you touch macadamia today.
But we need to go back.
When you touch macadamia today, who are you going to face? No. When you
I think you guys have waited for a long time to have this conversation.
No. When you touch macadamia
about how your MPs are not doing enough.
My anger with Vash is that Vash is actually accusing us of self-hate.
Yes.
Simply because we are saying that people in Nyanza and Western are not
we
working.
withdraw that statement so that we can come back to the conversation.
There is a member of parliament from Bungoma, a former member of parliament, who used to campaign with very deep Bukusu misemos. If you can develop an area na misemo, I can tell you Bomola constituency could be the best in the world. Hapo kusokwa na sisi tumezoea
Winning
njaa.
one.
Sisi tumezoea njaa.
Yeah.
Wewe mtu anakuambia sisi tumezoea njaa, amekuja na Prado ngapi? 4. Mtoto wake anasoma UK, but he's telling these people in the village sisi tumezoea njaa.
Joakim,
When
can you
Zoya
say
Sugar was being attacked, no one from this region, very few people spoke.
But Joakim, can you nyamaza for a minute and get back to that first? We cannot talk about Nyanza and Western. That if we talk about it, self-hate.
No, the way you talk about it. Is
So how
is
should we
self-hatred.
talk about it?
The way Joakim talks about
Hapana.
it.
So
is
if
where
today I
the
start
self-hatred
discussing
comes in.
how coastal leaders and Kamba leaders have done nothing.
Malombe.
Discussing
Wewe
is
unatoka
not
kwa
bad.
Malombe.
Yes.
Malombe.
The guy who has the highest budget for the executive office.
Well,
The highest in Kenya.
But
To serve tea and mandazi.
Joakim, can you say that since
2.01
the
billion.
revolution came in, haujaona any feuds of the revolution at all?
Well,
At all.
2%.
No, we are
When we are
questioning.
being
We are
truthful.
questioning this development because
See,
they appear
that's
as
nasema.
no, they appear as peanuts as compared to what these guys actually receive as an allocation from the national government. That is the bone of contention.
That is not
The
best
school I
contention
went
here.
to primary, it's called Kisuluni Primary School. It is the same school you see it today with the 2 extra classrooms at the far end of the corner, more than 15 years ago. 2. The number of students in that school, the number of learners, is double the number of children that were there when I was in that school. The road that used to take me from the market to Zoya Sugar, it is still the same way today. The Ngoze Road I'm talking about is still the same today. But when you look at other areas, you see the first time to go to Nyeri, I was expecting lami kuishia mahali fulani tuanze na rough road. Tukaenda kabisa, nikafika mahali naenda,
Lami haiishi.
lami haiishi, bado inaendelea tu. Nasema, ai, nikauliza, this is the dual road to Nyeri.
You labda ni national government. Sasa now I agree
No,
with
let me ask. National government iko tu Nyeri.
Can
How do we allocate resources?
Can I say something, Joakim?
How do we allocate
Mmeongea sana.
resources?
You know, first to say something, Joakim.
Eh,
I know what
Joakim,
you want.
mmeongea sana. Let me know.
I don't know what you.
Stop preempting our conversation.
See what she will say.
No, just give her time. Just give her time.
No, Jagero, how do we allocate resources?
Joakim,
Just give her
you're
time.
a dictator.
Hapana, how do we allocate resources?
You're a dictator.
When we say national government has
Okay.
built a road to Nyeri,
Okay.
what does that entail? That government, parliament, allocated money and set aside a budget for the dual road to Nyeri. How many members of parliament come from Western Kenya in that house?
Yeah.
What did they push? Wakasema tulipush hii ikakosa kufanyika.
Because everything there that is done from the house.
Look at even how William Ruto was campaigning. William Ruto goes to Kisii. I remember there is a weekend he went to Kisii with the 3 buses of schools. Akaenda akapatia shule moja bus, shule ingine. The following day he was in Bungoma. Do you know what he gave people in Bungoma?
Salt.
Walipanga line, mtu anapewa soda na mkate. In Kisii alipatiana bus ngapi?
Ine. Because he understands
He understands.
that these people do not take soda and
Bungoma
mkate. Wako nayo kwa nyumba.
Let me bring back the
Bungoma,
conversation.
Malombe
Yes.
ya huyu. Before
Yes.
you come
To-
back.
Yes.
Malombe yako. Unajua malombe inamaanisha nini? Ng'ombe nyingi.
Na hakuna grass.
Mimi wakati ya maandamano, there is a young man who was shot from Kavisuni in Kitui. He was my friend, so we had to go to the funeral. I went with this lady. This lady is called Mbithe.
Yes, the MCA nominated MCA.
Yes. Ndugu yangu.
Ule wa Kierere, you should
Ndugu
have
yangu.
that.
No, I love that lady. She's very human. I have worked with her one-on-one here.
Okay.
Ndugu yangu, I saw levels. Kwetu si matajiri. But I saw levels of poverty in Kavisuni that almost made me cry. The homestead that we were going to bury that young man has a small house that has no door.
Mimi nikiona kwetu sio kuzuri sana. But what I saw in Kavisuni and the governor of Kitui, the same area that I went, used 2.1 billion for his office. Ndugu yangu, ni Mkikuyu amefanya Kavisuni hakuna
Okay, let's go to that gentleman. And I want to let's come to Vash.
No, I want to take this conversation back to the national infrastructure fund.
You wanted Vash to talk.
No, because she's going to say something that would need Joachim to do a rejoinder, and we are not going to come back to the national infrastructure.
Shut up, Joachim.
I will not.
Shut up.
I will not speak.
So you be there ready, but let Vash talk.
Kwa hii maisha huwa tunasema exposure is a very important thing. Ni ukweli.
Yes.
Exposure inakusaidia kujua what you deserve and what you cannot get.
Okay.
If you are not exposed enough, you will not know that you can be maybe the president of Kenya. Utaona you only deserve bad things in life. You can only be a small person. And speaking about Western Kenya and Nyanza, when unjua lazima tuende back to history, when Jomo Kenyatta was the president, kulikuwa a lot of personalization of power. Yeye ndo alikuwa the first president mwenye aliacha mambo na institutionalization. In fact, the legislature wakati wa Jomo Kenyatta ilikuwa ina work vizuri until he decided that hataki parliament ifanye kazi vizuri. Yeye ndo alikuwa na allocate now resources. People will come to him and he was doing that because the land that people were fighting for, hiyo ya Mau Mau, hakuwa amewapea. So in order to make Mau Mau wakue vizuri, wasi revolt against him, akaanza now to personalize power in his kwake mwenyewe. And Moi akaendelea na hii mambo ya personalization of power. And now because of that, Kikuyus and people from Mount Kenya have always had better things. Kwa sababu ilianzia from the beginning. Jomo Kenyatta alikuwa anaensure nini inaenda maendeleo inaenda kwao, ndio watu wa kwao wasi revolt against
Nzoia Sugar ilijengwa lini?
No, I'm just saying. I'm giving context.
So, see, this is the rejoinder.
I'm giving context to the
So who was president in 1978?
I'm giving context.
Please summarize so that we can come back to the national
The context
infrastructure.
is
It was Moi.
wamekuwa exposed to these things, so they can.
So how did we get Nzoia
better.
Sugar without exposure?
They can demand better for themselves.
Vash, how did we get Nzoia
Sisi wengine
Sugar?
huku hivi tunashangaa.
You know the minister who opened the pan paper? It was Mwai Kibaki.
Sawa basi umeshinda.
No. How did we get Nzoia Sugar in 1978, built by a French company? If this power concentration is anything to go by, then we should not be having anything going on there. Because where were Kikuyus when we were building pan paper? Why did they stop us? Where were Kikuyus when we were building Mumias Sugar Company? What happened? When did they realize that we don't deserve those things? And when you have a good thing and some people want to take it away from you, what do? You defend them. Did we? Did we defend Mumias? When you see Mumias Sugar kwa shelf ya supermarket, are you sure it comes from Mumias? When Mumias was going under, who was the chairman? Was it not our person?
Who was he?
It was Kidero. Was it Anjoroge?
This is where you pull out your fire extinguisher. It's getting smoky in here.
Okay, what did you want to say, brother?
Let me take this conversation.
I want you to talk to me about, you are talking
infrastructure.
about your place. And I think it's a very good place to start from. You're talking, because the same thing, the same issue that we are having with Nyanza and Western is the same problem that you guys have in Cumberland, and you are about to speak about it. Are you able to talk about it?
Allow me not to discuss that conversation today. We'll have another day for that. Let me bring this conversation back to the National Infrastructure Fund. Let me start with the story. Jagero, as an investor, you are employed somewhere. You don't have all the resources, but you need to start a business. You want to have some side hustle, you survive. Then you pick your classmate or your friend to run that business. Na unaamua, wacha nianzishe duka. Unachukua loan kwa kazi, penye umeajiriwa, unakuja unafungua duka. Unanipea kazi. Unanipea kazi. Ikikuja jioni, ukiangalia kitabu, vitu nimeuza na pesa iko kwa kashia, haziendani, 2 worlds apart. First day unasema huyu bado hajajua kufanya mahesabu ya duka. Second day, third day, week 1, week 2, week 3, mwisho wa mwezi stock hakuna, cash box hakuna, na pesa hakuna. Kwani nini inaendelea hapa? So because you want your business to survive, you take another loan to buy new stock, na unilipe mshahara na ulipe rent hiyo biashara. Here comes the second month, same scenario. Pesa stock inauzwa, pesa hakuna, unakopa hata tissue kutoka kwa Chandaria, unakopa sabuni kutoka kwa Menengai, unakopa mkate kutoka kwa Superloaf. Ndio duka iendelee kurana. In the 4th month, I come up with a brilliant idea as your employee of the month. Jagero, ndio pesa ikuwe mingi, tufungue wholesale. Tuseme nimekushikia kamote. Juju as they call it. Unachanganyikiwa, tunafungua wholesale. Of course, wholesale ni kubwa kuliko duka, so sales ni mingi, pesa inafaa kuwa mingi, faida inafaa kuwa mingi. Tumetransition, tumeenda wholesale, na nani unaweka kurani ya wholesale? Yours truly, thief number 1. Mwenye unaona ni kama huyu ni rafiki yangu, siwezi futa kazi, na labda mahesabu zinamchanganya kidogo, wacha nimpe another shot at life. Unamfungulia wholesale. 3 months down the line, same story. Wholesale stock imeisha, pesa hakuna, unakopa kila mahali. Sasa hata ile loan yenye ulikopa kwa kazi kuanzisha biashara imekushinda kulipa. Nikikuja na idea nyingine nikwambie, Jagero, tufungue wines and spirit, utanisikiza? Nikisema tufungue sasa supermarket, utanipea hiyo kazi? Now, juxtapose that with the situation we have in Kenya. Kuna mtu ameshindwa kurani nchi. Mtu ameshindwa kulipa madeni zetu. Amekula kila kitu Kenya. Ameuza kuku na mayai yake. Alafu sasa anakuambia tuachane na hiyo biashara, tufungue ingine. Sasa ni kama hii ya kuku na mayai si mzuri, tuingie kwa ukulima.
Tufungue bezi ya Jaba.
Sasa wewe na huyo jamaa kuna mahali mnaenda. Now let me get back to the National Infrastructure Fund. Kenyans should know there are so many examples of failed national infrastructure funds in the past that we should learn from. Wazungu wanasema once bitten, twice shy. Na wako wajinga by the way. Unaweza translate hiyo msemo kwa Kiswahili. We have our own version in Swahili.
Ukiumwa na nyoka, ukiona ung'onga unashtuka.
Sasa turudi hapa. Tumeumwa na nyoka.
Ung'onga ni nini?
Hapo penye umeumwa kuko na hizo mashimo.
Ung'onga si ngozi ya nyoka.
Nadhani ni hizo mashimo. Anyway, Kiswahili kidogo hapo kimetuchanganya. In Malaysia, a national infrastructure fund was sold to Malaysians as the biggest idea, the revolutionary idea that was going to transform Malaysia into the first world country should be. That story was also sold in South Africa. The same story was sold in Nigeria. The same story was sold in Ghana. That same story was also belabored in Angola. And the verdict is the same in these countries. I'm not saying national infrastructure funds don't work. I am quoting examples of where they failed before. And they failed for the same reasons it is going to fail in Kenya. They failed because the contracts were being awarded to connected companies. We have already seen how this government awards contracts and the PPP shady things. And that is happening within the consolidated fund. If we have a national infrastructure fund that sits outside oversight, who do you think is going to bag these contracts? Sahi mnajua nani ana supply chuma na simiti ya affordable housing. Na iko consolidated fund. Na hiyo iko audited. Na tukienda kwa fund yenye iko audited. And the second thing is weak reporting for the National Infrastructure Fund. Then political interference in investment decisions. Mimi naamua kwa sababu mimi ndio the biggest political voice in this country, hii hatuta invest. Tuta invest kwa hii. Na si niko na mtu wa center ambaye anajua mambo ya infrastructure. Yeye ndio ataniambia tu invest kwa hii ndio itatupea returns mzuri sisi kama investors na pesa ya umma. Let me give you case by case analysis. I only need a minute for this. Malaysia. The National Infrastructure Fund for Malaysia was established in 2009. a strategic development fund. It became one of the largest.
Joachim, can you figure out this mic, how this guy should be speaking into this mic? He's leaving it behind.
Oh, sorry. It became one of the largest financial scandals globally after investigators alleged that billions of dollars were diverted through complex transactions. You remember, eCitizen diverted 6 billion shillings to a private account run and owned and managed by PesaFlow. And that is happening within the consolidated fund. Within the pretext of oversight. Then what would happen if you start diverting transactions in a fund that sits outside oversight? In South Africa, the National Infrastructure Fund faced allegations of politically connected investments, poor due diligence, and governance failures. The 2019 Party Commission investigated claims of impropriety in some of these investments. That flopped. In Nigeria, the National Infrastructure Fund faced criticism over transparency, investment choices, the ones we were mentioning, the commercially viable investments and whatnot, and questions about whether funds have delivered enough public value. Unlike IMDb, it has not been associated with scratch that. Ghana has faced controversies around infrastructure financing arrangements, including concerns over debt, project costs, which has been a bone of contention in Kenya, and PPP agreements. Angola is finished. Angola's Sovereign Wealth Fund, or National Infrastructure Fund, if you may, was investigated over allegations of weak governance and questionable investment decisions. Concerns were raised about politically connected managers of this fund and directors of this fund.
Politically connected.
Yes, and the lack of transparency.
Ours connected.
Ours are connected. If one is the CEO of CDN Bank, and you know who has the majority of shares in CDN Bank, and I have mentioned before that CDN Bank is now probably the new favorite for the government.
The incoming biggest.
So this is going to be the biggest scandal in Kenya. I would want to praise this idea. I would want to laud the government for coming up with a brainchild or an idea that is going to revolutionize how we fund our infrastructure projects in Kenya. But it is not lost to me that this government that has stolen almost everything is the one bringing this idea to us. This government is the one presenting this miracle of a fund that is supposed to revolutionize Kenya. And given its history, you would forgive me for not having faith in how this fund will be run, given that hyenas are supposed to be the judges kwa kesi ya kondoo.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. People of the internet, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Vash and Joachim have fought viciously. And these are friends. How they fight on stage, on the set like this, and then hug each other and make deals is interesting.
Make deals.
Vash and if you look at Vash and Joachim, they fit our politicians the way they behave, fight in parliament and drink whiskey at Serena. This is interesting. People of the internet, it's always been a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining, and please consider subscribing to our conversations and our channels. We are on social media, everywhere you get your social media dose from. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Hit on that notification bell. I want to thank Mr. Mulamba for coming today. I want to thank Joachim. Joachim, be nice. People are calling you a patriarch here. And not allowing your baby sister. Not allowing your baby sister to speak. Shame on you.
What's wrong with the patriarch?
Even the NIS.
Annie is here.
Thank you very much, Vash. Sitting among us three very loud men is not an easy thing. But you stood your ground. Thank you very much. Baptism by fire. Thank you, Mr. Frank, for being on the deck. Thank you very much, Mr. Jontes, for being on TikTok and also on cameras. People of the internet, until another episode. Bye for now. All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. Everybody says that there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a lot of things. Build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without capital, be an affiliate marketer, or you can also become actually an English tutor and tens of AI jobs. If you have a job, that is fine. But I also know that you can buy this book for that brother, for that sister, for that mother, for that cousin, for that husband who is watching Netflix all day at home. Buy it for your friend who is always asking for cash. You know that friend. Now, all the information is on the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or go to my website, which is odworjigero.co.ke.